bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hello, everybody. Welcome and happy Friday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topics. So, if that is the show for you, definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today, including we got to talk about Harry Styles making that announcement for that fourth album that's supposed to be coming out in March. And I also got some news regarding that because I told y'all the other day, but I'll reiterate it. Um, on here in case y'all missed it. Also, we got to talk about Ludacris dropping out of that Kid Rock MAGA-Adjacent uh festival that they're supposed to be doing, not in New York because we don't put up with that shit out here. But anyway, so he dropped out. We gonna talk about it. We also got to talk about Nutmeg McCain got a bone to pick with Marjorie Taylor Greene because she said that all of this little grifting that she's doing, she's auditioning to get a seat over there at The View. We'll talk about that. Plus, this is a story that's been circulating for a while, but I'm glad because we got his side now. I could bring it all full circle. Ryan Austin Green has opened up about his past romance with Tichina Arnold. Yes, Pam for Martin and Brian Austin Green was hunching back in the day. So we're gonna talk about that. It's a little nostalgia tea we're gonna get into. Also, Robyn stopped by our show. I don't particularly care for the people over there, but based off of what she said, we're gonna talk about it. She went on that trash ass Las Culturistas show, and she basically threw shade at Elon Musk and said she was hating on his ass long before it became chic to do so. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got a lot of heated rivalry tea to spill, including the show is so popular, Russians are breaking the law to try to watch it. François Arnaud got into a little situation where he unfollowed a lot of the cast due to some backlash because people was apparently mad at him because he took the same flight with Connor Story, and people are out here thinking them two are hunching. They want him with Hudson, and it's like, okay, I need y'all to go outside and touch some grass for real. So we're gonna get into that mess. Plus, we gotta get into Russell T Davies, who created Queer as Folk, and I knew this was gonna come eventually. So remember how on this show I said like I truly believe that heated rivalry will be for this generation what Queer as Folk was for my generation. Well, apparently Russell T Davies, who created Queer as Folk, is clapping back at some of the shade that's being thrown at Heater Rivalry, and while they trying to prop up Queer as Folk and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we'll get into that mess. Also, we got to talk about the final judges who was announced over there at Drag Race UK versus the World. As we are a couple of hours, very short hours away from the third episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. I wanted to get into this tea about the fact that they got a problem over there in regards of people are really struggling to try to find a way to watch this damn show. And I've always had this complaint where I don't understand why Paramount Plus is not airing Queer as Folk is not airing. I still got Queer as Folk in the brain, apparently. Why is Paramount Plus not airing RuPaul's Drag Race? Why aren't y'all capitalizing off of this show and also trying to use the show to build up your audience or even your subscriptions? Like, make it make sense. And I've been saying this for the longest because y'all thinking that people got MTV or still cut the cable. And if y'all keep it up, this show was going to die off along with the older fans who pretty much gave up on the show eons ago, except me. I've been with the show since the beginning. But we'll get into that whole breakdown because the Hollywood Reporter did a really good article on it, and I want to get into it and then give my overall thoughts regarding it. Plus, we got to talk about the traitors because, Michael Rapaport was out here showing his entire ass last night, and they dragged him on social media because they said he was out here being homophobic towards Colton Underwood. And we're gonna get into the spoilers or other stuff. So if y'all don't want to hear the spoilers, I might have to like mute your thing or whatever so y'all don't hear it. But we're gonna get into it and a whole lot more. So before we get to those topics, if you could please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. I know I was supposed to do a show yesterday. I don't even remember if I even said I was going to do one, but it was just like, it was so busy. Something life got away from me. And I was like, you know what? I'll just try to squeeze in one today because I was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I was out and about today and I was like, let me just throw a show together. So I'm glad it all came together. So let me check the comments. Let me hit this. Everybody's in, wait, hold on. Cause I was like, Cleveland's in the building. Happy Friday. Onyx is in the building. No, I did not get to see the Needle Drops Classic review because I did. It's in my history to watch. I was out all day. I didn't even get the chance to watch anything. Like as soon as I got home, I got right to putting this show together. So I haven't had a chance to watch anything. But I became aware of it because it was dropped in the group chat that I have with like Robert Felix and a bunch of other people. And I just made sure to put it in the thing. So I'm gonna watch it later on, but I ain't gonna because we was out here reading that old queen who decided to throw shade at Madison Beer's new record. You know who I'm talking about. Not impeachment. Who we impeaching? Well, we need to be impeaching that asshole president. Do think François is bi, please. Jillian Michael is a grifting ass opportunist. She like Stephen A. Smith. They're willing to sell out their own people for a check. You said where we know they're gay, but will be bisexual to please TV viewers. The thing. Well, he's always been openly bi. Before this whole Heat of Rivalry show became what it is. So that's what he was pretty much identified. That look, when people say they bisexual, I'm going with it. I'm not going to try to be out. You just 1 foot in from being a full-on homosexual. Like, I don't want to be doing that because I don't want to do bi erasure. If somebody tells me that they bi, they're bi. If somebody tells me they're homosexual, they're homosexual. Hola chismosa. And you said, hola, hola, hola. I heard WoW owns the franchise. All Drag Race went to WoW, but people think RuPaul is greedy and should make WoW. It should be. And RuPaul is greedy. And his greed will probably kill the damn show. What's up? How was your night? My night is good. Uh, my night is good. Thanks. Oh, okay. Yeah, we definitely need to peach her ugly ass because now she's talking about that things are going to get worse and we all got to be out in the streets trying to prove that we're Americans. I ain't got to prove shit to none of you motherfuckers. I was born, and especially with me being indigenous, y'all are guests up on my people's land. So if anybody need to up and leave, was her and that horse hair she got in her head. He said, I can already tell I won't like the new Madison Beer album without listening to it. She's a pretty girl. But I like the album cover more than well, I don't know. I have to listen to it before I can make a decision. The only one I doubt is Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is interesting to say the least. That boy's out there with the buses don't run. If someone tells me they're bi, they're bi. Well, have we ever seen look, like Lady Gaga, like Nicki Minaj, have we ever seen her out here with a girl? I do think she was pandering. I mean, unless there's somebody out there that knows the tea. Anyway, wait, who said that? You was like, except Gaga. Was that you throwing shade, or were you trying to say that's something I said? Because I don't remember. You know, I say a whole lot of shit on this show. I can't keep. But anyway, let me hit my banner, and let's get into topic number one. Let's get into the singer that Benson Boone wants to be. Let's talk about Harry Styles. So apparently now, with all the little encrypted messages and little hints and trinkets and things he's been throwing out here, the singer has pretty much announced that he's got a new album coming out in March. And I already told y'all the tea regarding that he's doing a 15-date residency at the Garden. That was a big old thing. And it's funny how Onyx was like, did you hear this? I'm like, child, I said it in the beginning of the show, but I think you came in later. So you didn't hear when I was talking about it. But yeah, so apparently the talk at my job 2 days ago. Well, when I was there, when was I there? Couple of when the last time I was there, might have been 2 days ago, whatever. Um, we had a conversation. It was all of us just sitting around having a conversation, whatever. We were determined. It was like, okay, so rumors are swirling and all this stuff that Harry Styles will be doing a 15-date residency, which makes sense because the last time he performed at the Garden, he did a 15-date show. And I literally have girls still who come for other shows and will ask about the banner that we have hanging in there with Harry Styles, and you can literally, if you can see it clear as day when you come in, and they'll go up to the bridge just so they can take a picture. I mean, you can't grab it because it's like way off. I mean, unless you want to jump off and die, that's the only way you're gonna be able to try to grab it, and even then, you won't be able to get your hands on it. But people go up, the girls come in or whatever, and some of the gays, they come and take the pictures or whatever, so they could be like they were near the banner, they got to see it, witness it, all the other stuff. So he's already done a residency before. I wasn't there at the time when he did it, but a lot of people said that it's a really good show. Be prepared to deal with a lot of screaming girls. I'm like, how's that different than any other show we've worked regarding a lot of little screaming, horny teenagers in 20 somethings and their mothers? Okay, so according to Rolling Stone, they said today Styles announced his new album, Kiss All the Time Disco Occasionally. I don't know if I like that title, but okay. If you like it, I love it. Set for March 6th release. And if you look at the picture on the right, that is the actual album cover with the little disco. And well, here's the thing that I don't like about a lot of the artists of Harry Styles caliber who jumps in the whole disco bandwagon or they use disco balls or whatever. I'm like, are y'all really gonna go in and do a dance record, or is this some disco sucks type crap where it's like you're doing post punk mixture? I mean, if he does kind of go into this whole post punk type of style, like Tears for Fears or like in that type of like that type of vibe, I'm like, oh, who's the? I'm trying to. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Like that song, like "Don't You Want Me" or "Girls on Film." Like if you kind of going in that vibe with the album, then I'm like, okay, I'm willing to hear it. Or and maybe throw in a little LCD sound system. Like if he kind of goes in that vibe, I think that would be a good vibe for someone like Harry Styles to go into. But I haven't heard any of the new music yet, so I don't know what it's going to be sounding like. But anyway, so they said the album's coming out on March 6th, and it's produced by his longtime collaborator, Kid Harpoon. The album, which will mark his fourth album and his first since 2022. Damn, it's been that long? Will feature 12 new songs. Now, earlier this week, he teased the announcement with a series of billboards and posters plastered around the world, from New York to Berlin to Sao Paulo to Palermo. Each included a message of two fans promising an anticipated reunion, saying, "See you very soon," one read, while another teased, "It's all there waiting." The posters correlated with a new website from the musician, who also launched his previous two albums with cryptic sites. The landing page for WeBelongTogether.co features a looped video that captures a sea of fans dancing in a crowd. Some are holding each other, a few are clapping, others are pointing their phones at a stage we can't see. Now, on Wednesday, fans who unquestioningly handed their contact information over to a HSHQ community number received a voice message. The audio file was only 6 seconds long, featuring a voice drawling the same phrase that appeared on the pop-ups. "We belong together." Child, y'all out here trying to corrupt these children's minds with all these little cryptic situations. Now, Style left his fans with an emotional farewell in 2023 following the conclusion of Love on Tour. He composed a piano ballad to perform for them at the final show on the 169-date run, then reflected on the tour in a rare Instagram story post, saying, quote, "It's been the greatest experience of my entire life. I feel so incredibly full and happy. It's all because of you. You have given me memories that will last a lifetime, more than I could have ever dreamed of. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your love." So he's out here teasing the fans with some new music. It'd be interesting to hear what it's going to sound like. And you know what? Shout out to you. He's been gone for a minute. He been out here, having his little relationship with Zoe Kravitz. That girl seemed to be bouncing from relationship to relationship. She went from Channing Tatum to this one real quick. But if it's working, it's working. And I'm wondering if the music kind of inspired the new record, because I don't think they've been dating long. They've been what, like almost a year or something like that, unless they was keeping a secret. So I'm curious to hear the music. I like the last album, Watermelon Sugar and As It Was. He had a lot of really good singles off that record. Because I wasn't a Harry Styles fan before, but I told you I got all up in my feelings when I heard that As It Was song. I was like, what is wrong with me? Yeah, he got some good songs. He was like the biggest one to come out of that One Direction. So shout out to you, Harry. It's gonna be an action-packed month. There's a lot of artists coming out with music. We got Harry Styles coming out with an album in March. Who else? I think Slater got a new album, because I just saw she dropped her album cover, and they was talking about like people started already buying up the merch and things. And she was, I'm like, damn, y'all like Slater like that? I thought she was kind of like my little secret. I didn't know there was people out here that was liking her like that, but apparently there is. There's a lot of people, and when Madonna. Oh, I mean, sorry. Donta, when you coming out with your music? Because these false stars, there was a rumor that came out that yesterday her album was supposed to, or a single was supposed to drop or debut on Good Morning America. And now some people think it's going to drop around the Grammys or whatever the case is. I think she should just save it for the summer. That would make sense. Like pull a Kylie Minogue, have it come out when it's warm. Because New York clubs is a little dry right now. Ain't nobody out here trying to be out in the cold unless you live in the local areas where people could just jump in and get to the club in like 10 or 15, 20 minutes. So if you in, and I was gonna say Chelsea. Chelsea ain't got no damn clubs no more. It's dry over there. Now it's Hell's Kitchen. If you go in the Hell's Kitchen, if you live in the Hell's Kitchen area, you go to the pop up in the bars and little clubs and stuff out there. If you out in Brooklyn, everybody knows to go to the little spots out there. Ain't nobody really out here. The clubs ain't popping like it does when it gets warmer. So that might be the best time for her to drop some music. But anyway, I know I'm sidestepping. Let's bring it back to Harry. So, what do y'all think of this story? You guys excited for some new Harry Styles music? And what do y'all think that the music is going to be sounding like? So, whatever your thoughts on this story, let me know in the comments down below. You said two streams running again. I think. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a couple of streams because I don't know. YouTube was annoying me because apparently I couldn't put homophobia in the headline or whatever. So I had to erase it, create it, and then delete the other things. I mean, I had to add it in later on. So I might have to go and hold on. I might have to delete those. Let me see if I could do it right now. Cause I'm like, bitch. Mm, 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 mm. But I see I'm live. Oh yeah. Let me delete these. Make it easier. I don't want to mess up like the last time I delete the other video. Okay, so it should be all good right now with that because I know that confuses people. People be going in the wrong rooms and they be like, "Well, I'm waiting for the show to start." My bad. Okay, so the other things is going. So Sailor Mermaids in the building. Happy Fridays. It looks like March will be the battle of the pop boy. Oh yeah, Bruno Mars got a new album out. BTS got an album coming out. Also, Blackpink got an EP coming out. I'm like, God damn, y'all really. I was gonna say y'all really trying to take my money, but I don't be buying records. I just use Apple Music. Speaking of Apple Music, I updated my iPhone, right? For you Apple Music users, when y'all be listening to, because I listen to like music when it's shuffled, like I'll listen to an album and then they'll recommend songs that are similar to what you just listened to. Have y'all noticed that they doing this thing now where they're mixing the songs? So it's like I could be listening to a song and it'll mix it into like I'll use for example like Britney Spears Circus and they'll try to find a way to blend it into Gaga's Poker Face or something or another. Like I started noticing now y'all doing little DJ mixes of people's singles. I said, when did y'all start doing this? So they changing things up over at Apple. Look at y'all trying to be. They probably using AI, quiet as it's kept. But I'm like, I find it's interesting that they changed it up. Once you update your phone, you start noticing little things. I'm like, y'all never did this before. I do not like the album title. Yeah, I don't like the album title either. I think the album title was stupid, but whatever. I probably won't remember it no way. I'll just listen to the record. In the TikTok I sent you, the journalist described the song as something very different from him on Apple Music. Oh, I haven't checked my messages. You say he has one playlist dedicated to disco occasionally and another dedicated to Kiss. Kiss as in what? What's that movie? I mean, you talking about Prince? White women in disco music. Yeah, you mentioned it on Wednesday's show about his 15 day. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing was, I guess Honest came in late. He didn't hear it when I said it, but I did mention it. Thank you for the reminder. I think Paul's down is right. Warner jumped the gun. Madonna is waiting until late spring on the dance album. Well, she always kind of releases her albums like in the first quarter of the year. She doesn't always do it like January, February. She always waits till it gets warm. And you know, Madonna like a hot ass arena. So she ain't trying to be out here in the cold promoting that record. Well, maybe they did You said, I thought him and Zoe broke up. Watermelon Sugar was on his 2019 album, and As It Was on the 2022 album that I. No, you say you never listened to. Well, I didn't like them songs. Maybe they did break up. I don't know. I don't be following their career. I mean, they relation. I don't be following his relationship quite as. I just thought like, okay, they still dating because Mama is on one long vacation. Look, let her take her time. I feel like artists need to take their time. You don't have to be greedy like Miss Swift, where she feel like I got to come out with a record every year. One is a cell phone format. The other is a regular video where we can close it and listen to it on premium. It said you could shut it off, go click in line up and down. I mean, up and turn off continue music after album. Oh no, I like no, I actually like when it does that. That I keep it continuing after the album because then I hate having to be like, okay, my music because I could be in the middle of I'm in the gym working out and I'm listening to a record and then if it stops then I'm gotta stop what I'm doing to go search for something to listen to. So I like the continued situation. I wasn't complaining. I'm just like I just noticed that they starting to do like they're mixing it into these different songs and stuff. I'm like, excuse me, y'all never did that before. All right, y'all. So now let's move on to our next topic. And let's talk about Luda. Because I was about to disown you as a fellow Virgo, sir, until because earlier in the week it was announced that Kid Rock, smelly looking ass, has a thing called Rock the Country. And then a couple of celebrities or a couple of musicians that's gonna be a part of it. They have Kid Rock, of course, Jason Aldean. This is the first time I'm ever hearing about this, by the way. But I think because Ludacris is a part of it, they decided to make us think about it. So yeah, Jason Aldean's doing it. Blake Sheldon, not surprised. I'm surprised they didn't get Gwen Stefani plastic looking ass to do it. I mean, she's pretty much a nut any damn way and a fake Jesus freak. Her and that idiot over there that plays Star Lord. Then they got Jelly Roll, who's now fish roll because he lost so much goddamn weight, or egg roll, we should probably just call him. So they got Jelly Roll, Creed, Brooks and Dunn, Riley Green, Miranda Lambert, Hank Williams Jr., Ellen Langley, who else in here? Shinedown, Leonard Skinner, Nelly, Gavin Adcock. Was he in a beef with somebody? Another country artist? Was it Morgan Wallen? I don't remember. Nor do I care. A bunch of crackers fighting groundbreaking. Then there was a thing about Ludacris and Nelly. Now Nelly, I wasn't all that surprised by. I just be shaking my head and rolling my eyes at that situation because Nelly is a coon and a buffoon and out here tap dancing for a check, quiet as his cat. I mean, look, back in the day, we didn't mind the fact that he would kind of mix the hip hop and country thing because that was kind of his thing. I mean, his first ever hit was Country Grammar, so. I wasn't surprised by it, but then when he started kind of tap dancing for Trump and all this stuff, of course, people started side eyeing him. Ashanti, you really know how to pick them. But anyway, so after the backlash from Ludacris, because I think people were surprised that Ludacris would even be a part of something like this. Now, he decided to drop out. Even I remember I was watching Ebro in the morning, and Ebro in the morning was like, "Yeah, you got time to still drop out." And I don't know, in my gut, I was like, you know what? I have a feeling he's actually gonna come to his senses and he's gonna drop out. And lo and behold, he did. So let's get into this story from Rolling Stone. So Rock the country music festival launched in 2024 by headliner Kid Rock. Oh, so it's 2 years old. So because I ain't never heard of this show before, maybe because nobody we cared about was a part of it. So they announced their 2026 headline on Monday. We don't need to get into all the people because we already mentioned the names. Now, a rep for rock and country confirmed that Ludacris was no longer on the festival and directed Rolling Stone to the rapper's team for any additional comments. A rep for Ludacris told Rolling Stone that the inclusion of the rapper was a mix-up. Lines got crossed and he wasn't supposed to be on there. That's bullshit. First of all, I think it was because you're trying to say it was a mix-up. How you put a mix-up? A mix-up is not taking somebody's name and plastering it on your billboard next to Nelly. The fact of the matter was there was backlash. A lot of the Ludacris fans are black, hip hop fans. Like Ludacris is somebody who's well respected in the hip hop industry. So for him to go and tap dance for a check over there, like we can understand Nelly goofy ass doing it, and we can understand Snoop Dogg who will do anything for a goddamn check at this point. That man done sold his soul years ago. But when he started doing that whole thing with Trump at the inauguration, that's when y'all finally saw him for who he was. But Snoop was always out here tap dancing, trying to tap dance and get in that middle America type of crowd or whatever the case was. So people were shocked with that. But I'm like, people, if you really be paying attention, they've been showing you who they are for a long time. So I do not believe that there was a mix-up. Now, fan blowback to Ludacris' involvement with a tour, which some view as MAGA-related, was swift. One said, Luda, bro, what are you doing? I'm so confused. This is what a person wrote on Instagram. We about to put you over there with Kanye and Snoop. Stop playing. Why you sign up for this? You got 48 hours to issue a statement. You got 48 hours to let you know you about to cancel this contract. Now, another IG user said fans shouldn't be surprised by Ludacris appearing on the lineup and cited a photo of the rapper wearing a stage outfit emblazoned with the Confederate flag. You wore a Confederate flag outfit. Little, what the hell's wrong with you? Any man that's willing to rock the Confederate flag as a black man is a wait. As a black man is a black man that's willing to do anything for some money. Nelly, who performed at the inaugural 2024 Rock the Country Festival, remains on the tour. The Hot and Horror rapper also performed at President Donald Trump's inauguration in 2025. He said, I was born in a military base at Austin. My father served, my grandfather served, my uncle served, my auntie served. Well, it's how you talk about watch me serve the mother, serve the father, serve the brother who fucks his sister. You know that song. Serve the father, serve the doctor, serve the nurse, serve the bitch who just got first. Y'all don't know that song, Watch Me Serve? That bitch track is legendary. Who's saying that, Miss Fernando? Anyway, so it's funny how you talking about all these people in your family serve, but then you out there performing for a man who's a draft dodger and said that he couldn't serve because he got bone spurs. Really? So it's funny how y'all want to move the goalposts when it comes to people that y'all actually be out here wanting to tap dance for, or people who you admire. Why? Because they speak like your dementia-ridden grandfather. Like that's not a flex. So I just didn't understand the hypocrisy about what Nelly was saying. Oh, because it was my family member served. It's like, boy, say that the check was swift and you needed the coins, and that's why you did what you did. But you know what? At the end of the day, I always say this: you can support who you want to support. You're the one at the end of the day who has to look in the mirror and be okay with, was that check that you cash for people who don't even see it for you as a human being, is it worth it? Is it worth you tap dancing out here? Because all money ain't good money. It's not. So if that's something that you want to be out here and be and look at, if you could look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and feel like you did that, then go ahead and perform for who you want to perform for. And this is the funny part for me, what they said in Rolling Stone. They said while the Rock the Country Festival isn't explicitly a political event, it has had its share of political statements during its inception. In 2024, Adcock went on a tirade against then President Joe Biden, saying, F you, Joe Biden, you cocksucker MFer. This is what he shouted on stage. Now, last year, Trump himself introduced Kid Rock set at a festival via a video message, fight, 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 win, win, win for the American people. Oh, you mean the people you don't give a shit about? The people who you just out here deporting and talking about the MAGA Barbies out here talking about we all now have to prove ourselves to be American citizens, and y'all trying to spruce up more ICE in the streets, and violence and is increasing, and the fact that now you move the goalposts and now you give 47 days to train in ICE because, and I kid you not, because Trump is the 47th president of the United States. So they give 47 days. They done cut down the training exercise. And quiet as kept, majority of these people you hiring can't even pass the test because they fat, they out of shape, they can't climb no wall or do any of the physical activities. These motherfuckers probably ain't seen a gym since high school. But y'all hiring them because y'all promising them all this money like they bounty hunters in the street. The more people you capture, the more you get bonuses or whatever you get. So while we trying to create this regime is trying to create this whole fascist situation, I just find it funny that they're saying that it's not explicitly a political event. But once y'all get up on stage and you start spewing expletives at politicians you don't agree with, or you go and pander to Donald Trump to do a message online so that, or like a screen message at your show, whatever the case is, you've made your show political. When you start literally hiring artists to perform who are Trump supporters, that is making a political statement. Because you can't tell me the people like Jason Aldean, Blake Shelton, Jelly Roll, Creed, Brooks and Dunn, Leonard Skinner, Nelly, all these other people, Morgan Wade, because he's on there too. Uncle Cracker. When the last time Uncle Cracker put out some goddamn music? There's a lot of people on this list. So you know these people are Trump supporters. You've made it political. And that's why I hate when people say, y'all be trying to mix positive. We ain't out here mixing the pot. Y'all throw the stuff in there. And then we respond to it. Then y'all want to whine and complain and act like a bunch of goddamn snowflakes. So shout out to you, Luda, for having some damn sense. And knowing, like, really? Because you got to realize all this MAGA crap that's going on right now, they're in the minority. This ain't going to last forever. And once the dust settles with all of this, you got to realize there ain't no coming back to the community when it dries up over there and you're not going to get the support that you once was before. Because at the end of the day, you have to decide which tribe you going to stand with. Because when push comes to shove, them crackers over there, them white folks, them palm people, the ones that's over there that will sit and smile up in your face and talk about shit about you behind your back, they're not gonna have your back when your back is up against the wall. They're gonna go with their tribe, and you're gonna be left out here in the weeds. And then you're gonna be like, well, damn, I done messed up. Now you're gonna come, oh, can y'all take me back? And if y'all do that dumb shit for these people out here that will sit and throw y'all black folks, throw black people under the bus for a check, and you go and take them back, you was a damn fool. Because I always believe what Maya Angelou always said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. I'm not gonna sit up here and give y'all chances and take y'all back and be like, we gotta forget we moving forward. We ain't moving backwards, like what Obama said and all that other man. Or Joe Biden. No, it wasn't Obama. Was it Obama or was it Joe Biden who was saying that when it came down to the impeachment of oh yeah, it was Obama, because it was an impeachment of George W. Bush. We gonna move forward. We don't move backwards, really, because it looked like history's repeating itself. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Cleveland said it's okay. Sometimes they cut into the next song 30 to 45 seconds before it's done. It start. Oh, you saw the notes of that too, right? And you said it starts playing 30 to 45 seconds. Yeah, they do that. Like I've noticed they be cutting into the song. It's like a DJ mix. The same TikTok you saw yesterday where it mentioned the MSG residency to me. Oh yeah. Okay, it was that one. You know, sometimes I'll be forgetting. Y'all be sending me so much stuff. Yes, that's what I said. When I'm at the gym, whatever, which I was earlier, that's what I got to be doing. It's not Jason Aldean, Leonard Skinner, Miranda Lambert, or Blake Shelton. I actually like some of their songs. Child. Well, look, kind of in a place where it was like, damn, I should have used that as a story, but I forgot. Maybe I'll do it next week, or maybe I'll just mention in passing. Because there was a story that I was like, damn, I wanted to do it. Where it was like Tiana Taylor and people, I don't know if people are dragging her over this, but she said she's not going to stop her friendship with Kanye over the stuff that he has said. And I feel like that's how I am with some of my friends. There are friends I have, or people or artists that I like that I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that they say or do. But if you're going to be doing things, if you're going to be out here trying to cause harm against others, then it's like, I can't rock with you. as a friend or as an artist. But it's gonna get to a point where it's like if anybody says anything remotely different from you, then do you cut them off as a friend? I'm like, well, damn, I ain't gonna have no friends then. Because I have no problem sitting down and having conversations with people being like, well, what you saying or how you coming across, it's you coming from a place of privilege, you got maybe an unconscious bias or racial blind spot, and I got to check you on it. And if you got one of those friends that's like, you know what, I appreciate the fact that you showing me something that I wasn't even aware of because that's not my lived experience. Those are the type of friends I like to have. I don't like to have friends where it's like, well, if I'm trying to explain something to you and you're just going to completely just diminish or ignore or be like, well, F you, fuck my feelings or whatever, then it's like, okay, I got to chop your ass. If you're not willing to open yourself up and learn and listen and grow from things and become a better human, then I can't mess with nobody like that. Show is. He said Ludacris will be replaced by. I would not be surprised. I mean, she could use a chat. I don't know why she married him. I mean, I mind her and Nelly being together. Like I thought, I like they love, but then when you started seeing this foolishness, and I know they try to play that whole him going back and forth with the is he going to do the perform at the inauguration for Trump, and they talked about that on that reality show that I didn't watch. I just saw the clips online. Like they went back and forth, and she was trying to be like, well, look, he gonna do his thing, and I don't agree with everything that he does, that he do his, how people are. I guess as my generation kind of looks at it that way, because we never really had the experience dealing with something like this. But that's her man. She got to live with him. Is that this is the unfortunate thing about being a fan of modern country music. So many of the artists are automatically aligned with MAGA because of how bigoted the country music industry. Absolutely, I do agree with that. Even though there's some, because remember they even try to lump Dolly Parton in that mess at one point, and I was like, what y'all not going to do is come for Aunt Dolly, because and it's funny, I do have an aunt named Dolly, not Parton, but I do have an aunt named Dolly. Um, she's dead, but yeah, I was like, that's the unfortunate thing. Like, there's people out here who love country music and aren't bigoted in that way, but country music has been stereotyped because of that. Maggot Fest. That's what they should have called it. That would be look, child, quiet as it's kept. That would have been a better title for it, MAGA Fest. And so, like I saw Ludacris when he opened for Janet. Now he wants to be a cowboy. Isn't that a Kid Rock song? The fact that Anna now admits we were right about the fascist written. Fuck her. I'm so sick of Anna Kasparian. She don't get no sympathy and empathy from me. Just like when the grift is over for Sucker A. Smith, he need to keep his little coon ass over there with them people. Slice and I gagged because I saw a video. I did not know because he said, "Oh, I'm from Hollis, Queens." I'm like, bitch, I did not know that because I'm from Hollis, Queens too. Like I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, but then when I was like 12, my parents moved me and my siblings and all of us to Hollis, Queens, which was like the suburbs, which home of LL Cool J and Run DMC. Like right down the block from where I grew up, there is a mural of Jam Master Jay when he passed away. It's on the wall and everything. That's how deep in the heart of Hollis, I grew up. He says, speaking of MSG, I saw my friend got tickets for Madison Beer. Oh yeah, I did see that Madison Beer has a show, but I didn't see when it was. I saw I got the email stating that she has a show coming. Also, Charlie Puth, I believe, has a show. Child, let me tell you, my summer is gonna be crazy because there's a lot of artists performing. Not only that, but Bon Jovi's doing 9 shows. Rush is doing I think 4 or 5, and then they said Fish might do some in between because this year I think they're trying to set it up where they could do 100, hit their 100 show mark, especially because they always do the final 4, like they always do 4 shows leading up to New Year's. That's always their annual thing. They've been doing that for decades. But they want to hit their 100-year landmark this year, so they're saying that they might squeeze that in. It was funny, we were asking about it, and then one of my bosses was like, "I can neither confirm nor deny." It's funny, I'm spilling all this stuff on this show. She has a career because of, well, that's it too. Like said Tiana years ago when her career was starting to take off. Because I used to work in Harlem, And I remember like all these. She was coming out of the VIM, which is next to the Goodwill over in East Harlem. And I remember seeing her coming out of the VIM, which is, for those who aren't aware, it's like a sneaker store, like in the hood. It's like a sneaker. It's kind of like Foot Locker for the hood. And they sell clothes and everything in it, but similar to Foot Locker. But yeah, it's like they sell a mixture of things. I know sometimes I gotta explain New York stuff for those of y'all that don't live here, in case y'all don't have a VIM. I wonder if there's any still around. And I remember she was standing outside, she was signing autographs, like she was a nobody at that point. But I guess locally people knew who she was. Pretty girl in person. And I have to say, like, I'm looking forward to her playing Dionne Warwick. I hope that Dionne Warwick movie happens. But with her success, at this point, I feel like she could get that movie made. And she said that when she does the Dionne Warwick movie, she said, I'm lip syncing. But she said, "Oh, yeah, I got pipes, but Dion got pipes." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't mind the fact that." And people got to remember, Dionne Warwick was like the first Black pop star, long before Whitney Houston, whatever. Which they are cousins. For those who didn't know that, Dionne was the first pop star. I love me some Dionne Warwick music. Do you know your way to San Jose, bitch? Let me tell you. Walk on by. Let me tell you. If you don't know nothing about Miss Dionne, y'all need to get in that catalog. She was recording artists before she went on acting. She was on Medea movies and no, yeah, I'm aware of Tiana. Tiana was trying to do music at one point and she kind of like just backed away from it because I think she was dealing with so much stuff behind the scenes with the music. And she was like, I'm leaving music behind. The last time we saw her do a performance, whatever, wasn't it the BET Awards last year? So it's like, yeah, and then she said she was gonna get into like creative directing. So I guess she was going to be behind the scenes and being a creative director for other artists, which I think that would have been a really good move for her. But her acting career is taking off, and I loved her in One Battle After Another. She pissed me off in that damn movie, even though she was in it for like 10 minutes. But still, she pissed me off in that damn movie. I have had many friends in my day that are Southern ideology types that were willing to hear my point of view and where I stand politically. But I also, well, you know what? It happens to the best of us. I said Kane Brown gonna reinvent himself as a pop star because he definitely faded now that. Oh yeah, we haven't heard from Kane. He cute too. I haven't heard from Kane Brown in a minute. I stopped listening to Maga Minaj because of her radical right pivot too, and she was one of my favorite artists growing up. Not so much in my adult years. I think most people feel like that unless you in the damn cult. Black Love is in the building. Tiana won the Masked Singer a couple of years ago. Child, did y'all see the recent Masked Singer? They had Todd Chrisley and his wife and his beard on the show. And you said I only know Tiana as a music artist. She got a Lauryn Hill feature. Hmm. Well, yeah, now she's trying to finagle her way into acting, which I think is a good move for her. Because she can. Speaking of which, she got a new movie that came out today on Netflix with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Glenn from The Walking Dead. I always forget his name. Stephen Yeun. I want to see that movie. It's a cop movie, and Sasha Calle, who plays Supergirl in The Flash. Yeah, they had a bunch of people in that movie. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. So I'm probably gonna watch that after I get off of here with y'all. Because I am recording Drag Race. We're gonna get into that story about Drag Race coming up. Cause yeah, I feel y'all pain because I'm frustrated too. And I'll let y'all know how I watched the show and all that stuff. Cause I was like, oh yeah, this was a story I've been meaning to get around to for a long time. But I'm glad that um the Hollywood Reporter put it into words, so now I have the vernacular to kind of give my opinion. Anyway, speaking of opinions, let's talk about Nutmeg McCain. So apparently, Nutmeg, who used to be over there on The View, is got a bone. She has a bone to pick with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who y'all know is on this whole image rebrand. Which y'all already know. When I be talking about Marjorie on this show, I do be side on her. And sidebar, I don't know if I told y'all this, but I worked a tennis match at the Garden, and people was like, "Oh yeah, they saw me on camera." Because where I was positioned on the floor, but I was on this in this area where it was like I had to like tell mad people, please do not cross over this thing because the cameras is right there and they filming the tennis match. There was a woman that was sitting in the row, and I should have looked it up to see what her man looked like too. But I was like, I swore up and down that I literally was having conversations with Marjorie Taylor Greene because there was a lady at that tennis match that looked just like her. Even had the overall was making little shady comments towards these Real Housewives Italian chick types because there was a woman there with her daughter and I think it might have been her brother and then something or another, but like these Guido types, and she was making little comments, calling him a dumbass and all that. So I'm like, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know. It might have been. I think I was having a conversation with Marjorie and didn't realize it. But anyway, and if somebody tell me she wasn't at tennis match, I'm a gag because I didn't. Because sometimes I'll be like when you see people on TV you know them who they are. And when you see them in person, it's like you're not sure if it's them. And I don't want to ask if I'm not really up in their face all the time. But anyway, let's get into the thing. So apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene is being called out by Nutmeg because Nutmeg out here saying that this is an act with her in regards to this whole rebrand that she's trying to do over there at The View, saying that she's trying to get a seat at the table. And she's not the only person that has said this because a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to bring this up on the show, and I didn't have time to like try to look for it, but I remember the article, so I'm gonna paraphrase it. Because Rob Shooter did a story a couple of weeks ago, I think at the beginning of January, where he basically was saying that, yeah, a lot of times y'all been seeing Marjorie on the show, they feel like this is her trying to audition for a seat. Now, if she do, and if this ends up being true, and she ends up getting a seat at the table, who are they getting rid of? Or is this a thing where because I know Alyssa's pregnant. When she go on maternity leave, does this mean that you're gonna put Marjorie up in there in the meantime until Alyssa comes back? Or y'all trying to say Alyssa's days is done and y'all getting rid of? Because one thing we know y'all not gonna do is get rid of Anna. Everybody likes Anna Navarro on the show. So, and she's the other Republican. So there's no Ann in God's green earth unless she makes an announcement that she leaving because she got bigger and better fish to fry in regards to her money besides being on CNN and she getting other opportunities that she will be leaving the show. But I don't see Anna leaving the show because we like Anna. I don't particularly watch The View like that, but I love me some Anna Navarro. But anyway, let's get into the story. So, according to Entertainment Weekly, they said amid controversial conservative Greene continuing her ongoing press tour, including two recent interview appearances on The View, McCain speculated that her recent appearances are no more than an attempt to rehabilitate her problematic image in politics. She said, quote, I don't care how often she auditions for a seat at The View, the 40-year-old wrote on Twitter. This woman is not moderate and no one should be buying her pathetic attempt of a rebrand. They said that Entertainment Weekly has since learned from a source that The View already has a full table. Y'all had to learn this from a source. What you gotta do is look at the goddamn table to see that they have a full table, which is filled with current stars Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, Alyssa Farrah Griffin, and Anna Navarro, and that there is no current truth to Greene being considered as a co-host. But here's the thing. Let's talk about what Nutmeg had to say. So I do agree with her. And you know, a broken clock is always right twice a day, as they say. But I do agree with her. She is not a moderate. She's an extremist. She has been out here promoting a lot of Trump's ideologies until I guess she was trying to go over there and pursue, from what people were saying, she was trying to pursue a Senate seat out in Georgia, and Trump would not give her the endorsement. And that's why I always say, like, no matter how much y'all part that man's big old cheeks, and you know he likes to fart, apparently, according to people. No matter how much y'all part his old funky, wrinkly ass cheeks and inhale his farts, he don't see it for a lot of y'all. So y'all be out here kissing his ass and doing his other things and looking for his approval and his endorsement, and he still treats y'all like shit. And so she got wind of it, I guess. And now she want to be out here. I was wrong. And now I want to try to do this whole makeover. Who knows what she's trying to do? But here's the thing. The reality of it all is there's a real money-making situation and a real grift in commentary. If you jump on YouTube and you come out with your own little political show, whatever the case is, the grift be grifting. The coins is lovely, which is why you see all the Ben Shapiro's kind of falling off. Joe Rogan slipping in the ratings, whatever. That's why all of a sudden he had this come to Jesus moment regarding ICE and the whole thing with the Pow Pow Renee and all that mess. Now all of a sudden he want to backpedal. I still don't trust him like I don't trust Nick Fuentes because they go back and forth. Like today he hates Trump or wants to question Trump. Tomorrow he loves him again. The next day he licking the crack of his smelly orange stained ass. So I'm not buying it like Nutmeg said. I'm not buying with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm not buying it with these other people because y'all like to flip flop, and y'all been showing that a lot. And like I quoted my girl, Maya Angelou earlier, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. She said it, and I believe it. Now, McCain's comment about Greene came as part of her commentary on her recent Axios report that alleged the White House told the Secret Service that Greene may have tipped off Code Pink protesters about Code Pink, ooh, those the gays, about his surprise visit last fall to a D.C. restaurant she recommended to the president. Oh, here we go, making shit all about her again. She said, it's legitimately so dangerous if Marjorie Taylor Greene did this. Code Pink is a bunch of insane radicals, and someone could have gotten hurt. I don't know much about Code Pink, so I'm not going to speak on it. But anybody who's out here protesting an idiot president and his performance art of fascism, I'm here for it. We have a right to go out and protest against people who are doing harm to the majority of Americans and even his own constituents. But some of y'all be still in the cult. Y'all just let him get away with whatever, even though y'all know he's fucking up the economy. He's putting a lot of these billionaire people that have helped him get in the White House, he's helping them more so than he's helping y'all. But y'all want to stay cutting him thinking y'all going to get a piece of the pie. You're not. Sorry, hate to break it to you. Because didn't he also say he was giving y'all $2,000 stimulus checks? And then they asked him that at a press conference. He said, when did I say that? So I don't know if the dementia is dimensioning or the fact that he says so many lies he can't keep up with, which is why I don't like lying, because when you lie, you got to try to keep up with the lie. And so they had to tell him. And he still telling them that he ain't said it, even though we've seen the videos and many of the articles that said that he said that. But y'all still be in the cold. So she's talking about restaurants or whatever. I think it's the president is a politician, so it's going to be public knowledge of where he's going to be showing up in a lot of these situations. Wherever you go out and eat, where you're going to be making appearances, all of that is public record, including like all this stuff about ICE, where they talk about they were doxxed. They've been not doxxed. If you are a federal worker, a lot of stuff that is about you is public record. So what are you talking about, Willis? Now, in response, Greene told Axios that the allegation is an absolute lie, a dangerous lie, and that she would never do that. Now, EW has reached out to Greene and a rep, but they haven't said anything regarding what Nutmeg had to say. Though she might not join the table as a co-host permanently or temporarily, Greene has made a pair of highly publicized appearances on The View in recent months. In a January, and here's another thing that I don't understand what's going on with The View. Why are y'all trying to normalize her? That broad had been problematic since the beginning. She said all that mess about Jasmine Crocker, where Jasmine had to gather her ass, her Beauty and the Beast looking ass, and y'all are out here trying to normalize her. People, I just be side eyeing y'all with y'all be having on. Like you've had her on, you've had Sucker A. Smith on, where the only one that had some sense to push back on Sucker A. Smith was Sonny Austin. Everybody else, I just don't, I can't. So they did say on a January 7th, and speaking of pushing back, Hostin confronted Greene on January 7th about past transphobic comments or other divisive rhetoric she spoke for years before leaving office on January 5th, and asked if she extended apologies to her political colleagues such as AOC and Jasmine Crocker. And let's not forget that before she left Congress, she passed a bill banning gender-affirming care for trans teens. Let's not forget that. So she's still on her little transphobic tirade. She said, I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I want to focus on politics and policies and actions instead of focusing on individuals because our country is so divided, which you actually contributed to. So now you want to pull back and be like, I want no parts. But sis, you contributed. You don't get to wipe the slate clean and act like you didn't contribute to the mess. Take ownership. So you apologize to people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett and your colleague who you made fun of her trans child as Hostin referencing Greene's transphobic actions against Rep. Marie Newman, who has a trans daughter in 2021, saying, quote, have you made specific apologies to those people, especially your colleague who has a transgender child, because you have a child as well and who you taunted? Greene replied, noting that she made a blanket apology, but hasn't received apologies back from so many people that attacked me. So this is what we do. It's like, sis, why we out here trying to do? But they didn't apologize to me, bitch. We don't care about that other side. I'm asking you, did you apologize now because you trying to come in with this whole new grift of trying to clean up your image? Did you do your part in apologizing? My thing is, I said in life, if I say something derogatory or whatever, it's like I made my peace with whatever I said. I apologize and I said what I said, whatever. Now, if they receive it, that's a different story. But I don't sit out here and be waiting for motherfuckers to apologize to me because, oh, I got to apologize and I expect an apology back. That's not how it works. But when you were Karen, I guess that's how you feel that's how things work. We're not doing, but, I did this, but. No. I'm asking you a question, answer it. But, this is the game these people like to play. And if you really pay attention to Marjorie, you notice that that side that she be trying to suppress to act like she a whole new woman and she turned over a new leaf. Oh, that side come out every now and again. Because when she did that interview over there on 60 Minutes, which Trump was pissed off about, when that lady asked her a question about something or another, you did see that old Marjorie come out. And I think it was the same thing where I'm trying to remember it, but it was so long ago, so I'm gonna paraphrase. I think it was something where it was about accountability, something that they were trying to hold her accountable for that she had said. Then you saw that side come out. I said, we see you. You can't help yourself. A leopard never changes its spots. So they said the political figure has since attempted to smooth over her polarizing reputation, even amid a public rift with Donald Trump, whom she has long supported as an ally, but has openly criticized her as of late. So it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not buying this grift that she's trying to sell. I'm still side-eyeing the situation. The View's still going to be out here normalizing problematic ass people. I guess y'all, because all y'all care about is ratings. And whatever. I'm just over it. But um Nutmeg and Marty, two deplorable ass people, but it's entertaining to talk about them and call them out on their bullshit and their hypocrisy. It was like I was with you on some of the Marjorie stuff, but then when you started trying to call these people radicalized, I was like, girl, this is why nobody took your big back ass seriously when when your crazy ass, your nepo baby ass with no real political opinion, was over there on the View, terrorizing all them people and us with all them. Well, how long she was on? 4 years? 4 years? Too damn many. I think it was four. It might have been more than that or less. I don't know, and I don't care to do the research. But anyway, so I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding what Nutmeg McCain had to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Do y'all think that while ABC says there's no plans, that she is trying to find a way to grift her way over there at a seat on the View? I do feel like regardless of how you feel about Marjorie, she's a little too extreme for the View. So I don't see them trying to put her on there. You have to kind of have a moderate type of tone and vibe to yourself. They will never put a progressive on that show, a Republican progressive or a Democrat. You have to fit in the narrative of ABC and what they're trying to feed people, which is sit in the middle. Even if you're a Republican, you got to sit in the middle with a lot of how you speak politically and on any kind of ideology. So you can't really come over there and say the things. The progressiveness is for those of us over on social media spaces like YouTube. That's when you can get away with being more progressive with your opinion. You can't get away with that over on The View. They'll fire her faster than you could say Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I use Philo. That's how I watch Drag Race. It's funny how I watch Philo. You're paying 33, I pay 25. It's funny how they said oh yeah, it's got in 25 for the first month and it goes up to, I guess because I've been with it for a while. And then before Drag Race started, I forgot when when I had my card information, when somebody hacked into it and started taking money out and I had to go get the new card, I forgot to update my credit card information. So yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that. I just watched the final season of the Upshaws, all 12 episodes on Philo? Wasn't the Upshaws on Netflix? It is good because that was where I watched Drag Race, is where I watched the Braxtons. And also they have AMC. So when I was watching like The Walking Dead and stuff on there, I was using it for that. You said the latest episode of The Masked Singer, they had Tiffany Haddish. Ciao. Did they also have Keisha Cole on that season? I was like, Chad, you can always tell what her voice is. But Chris, remember when Omarosa was also about Trump? Then when she got, that's why I said, and I side-eyed her too. Meghan is just mad that nobody, that part. And that's what I was thinking too. She always try to find her way to assert. And it's funny how she talks so much shit about The View, but you always got something to say about the show in your little op-ed or whatever. So, girl, you The View just be living rent free in your damn head. It's ironic Meghan talking about Marjorie. Okay, that's why I said two sides of the same. And what about them? You say MAGA, what about them? I said, remember when Meg was gone for a while after having her baby? She told Joy, I know you miss me. Oh, that's what I loved about it. The fact that Joy and Megan McCain, Nutmeg, sorry, could not stand each other. Joy specifically did not like that bitch. And we did, and we loved the fact that they was always fighting. I looked at her sideways because Trump said some horrible things about exactly, and that's why I said you always talk about everything about the show. My father, 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 my father. Um, and he said something about your father, criticizing the fact that he got captured. But at least he went to war like your big back orange ass. Crazy how I saw a clip on X how some MAGA people from New York voting for my. Oh yeah, that was a thing too. Which yeah, that did happen. Some MAGA people voted for Mamdani because the very things that Mamdani says he's for, being a progressive, a democratic socialist, were all the lies that Trump said he was all about when he's a part of the elite. He is an oligarch. He is somebody who worships being rich, having money, accessibility, all of that stuff. He is pro-establishment. He is not anti-establishment, but he faked the funk. And I guess they were like, "Oh, this man with all this money, and he's a businessman, a failed businessman who bankrupted uh, a multitude of casinos." So I just don't understand with all this information. And we all looked at Trump as a joke when he was in New York. The only thing that was able to rehabilitate his career was The Damn Apprentice. That's what made people believe the pomp and circumstance. First of all, his damn Trump tower, whatever, was so damn tacky. They had to build a set to make it look like the office or whatever. His real office didn't look like how it looked on the show. Because they said how old and decrepit a lot of the furniture and everything was in there and how tacky everything. I mean, the man is the epitome of tacky. Have y'all seen how the White House look with all that cheap ass gold that they done found and spray painted from Home Depot? Like, y'all can't really think that this man is all the things that he says. It's all an illusion. But people prefer bullshit over the truth. But that's the thing y'all got to deal with. Anyway, let's lighten the load a little bit because I'm tired of talking politics. But look, like I said, I kept my promise. I said if anything political falls within entertainment, we're gonna talk about it on the show. I'm not doing the heavy politics. I did that in 2025, and I said this is inevitable. Things are gonna get worse. So I'm gonna just focus on if it placates into entertainment. We'll talk about it on the show. Anything political, I'll just save it for my social media platforms, which I know I'll be going ham with the politics over there. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about something lighter. Let's go and take a blast of the past and talk about Brian Austin Greene, who's opening about his past romance with Tichina Arnold, aka Pam from Martin. So, um, they both appeared on well, not together, but separate. They appeared on a podcast by the name of Funny Knowing You, and Tichina Arnold appeared on there first, where she basically opened up about being on Martin and the her career in the 90s, and she's still been able to maintain the career. I live for her and I live for some Tisha Campbell, but she recently did an interview with like I said on the podcast, and she had talked about being her first and only interracial relationship, which come to find out it was Brian Austin Greene. Hold on, because now I got to pull it. I don't know. This thing keeps refreshing, which is annoying. So now I have to pull it up because I know the other one's going to do it too. So give me a second, because I want to coincide everything. Okay, so we're gonna pull up the clip of her talking about the relationship over on the podcast and her and why it didn't work out. And then we're gonna play Brian Austin Greene, who showed up a couple of weeks later, or maybe like a week or two later, and gave his side of the story, which I get. I was like, it was cool the fact that he was able to give both people. He got Tichina and he got Brian Austin Greene to come on the show and tell a side of the story and things. So I thought it was a full circle thing. It was good to talk about on the show. We're gonna play this clip and then we're gonna come back and talk. Please hold.
I've been in this business all the time. You never fucked around with it.
I dated. Well, I did say I did the actor that I dated.
Yeah.
And the one white guy that I dated.
You dated a white guy?
I sure did.
That's good. How was that?
It was nice. But he was different. But I told him, I said, the reason why we've come to the end of our road, I see you dating all these black women. Now you're dating me, and you're not going to end up with a black woman. You're going to share your riches and your legacy with someone white. And so I'm getting off this train.
Really?
Yeah. And I told you I'm very good with endings. I'm like, yeah, okay, bye. But nice guy, really nice guy. But it's just, I knew it wasn't going anywhere. But it was a great experience because he was a good human being. He was a good human being. And I think in life, I had to experience that. So I know what the other side is. It's just not something that I want. I really love black men. I'm just attracted to black men. That's my natural. It comes down to everything. The pheromones, the smell, and everything.
Yeah. You liked him and he liked you.
We liked each other, but he pursued me. He actually took me on a date. We did the red carpet. He asked me to. I was like, what?
I can just picture you going.
And this is in the height of Martin, too. Yeah, I was like, what? But he was good looking and stuff. Brian Austin Greene, very well off.
Really?
Yeah. Nice guy. Nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
Brian
guy.
Get down.
Oh, and great, rapper. He was good at writing. He had a studio in his house. And that was another thing that attracted me to him. He was very musically inclined. His dad is a jazz musician and stuff. Yeah. So there was a lot of commonality there. But he was like the only actor and white guy that I ever dated.
That's what's up.
All right. So, what people don't realize, because let me take y'all back to the 90s. So, while everybody was over here pining over Brandon and Dylan over on 90210, let me tell you something. Brian Austin Greene was that boy back in the day. Like, he had that swagger, he had that thing about him. The black girls was definitely falling for him. He was out here dressing with the baggy clothes on, and I do definitely believe, like Eminem, he was someone who absolutely loved the culture. He loved being around black people. He dated a lot of black girls. But yeah, I do agree, like, damn, Tichina might have been a soothsayer. Like, she was in on it. I mean, she was on it because she was like, yeah, when you get serious, you are gonna share your wealth and your success and everything with a white woman, which he ended up doing when he got with Vanessa Marcel from General Hospital. And then after that whole situation happened with that relationship, because he had a kid with her, I think her name was Cassius, I think was the kid's name. It wound up having a kid with her, and then that relationship broke up. And then he got with Megan Fox, who he said in the interview pursued him hard when I don't think she was of age when she was pursuing him. And it's like, yeah, there was that thing about Brian Austin Greene that the girls was all on that. He had that thing about him. And so I could totally get like why he was like embedded, and yeah, he did come out with an album as y'all saw in the thing, and I think around that time when white artists were jumping into the whole hip hop thing, people really weren't taking white artists seriously because that was the era of like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch and all that other stuff. Yeah, quiet as kept. Nobody was really taking Mark Wahlberg seriously as a rapper either. That's why it was good that he was smart to transition into acting because the music wasn't going to be working for him. I mean, yeah, Good Vibrations, that was a hot song, but um unless he was going to be a white rapper who jumps into like dance pop or whatever the case was, that that would have probably worked a little bit, him being in the clubs and playing up the whole sexy Calvin Klein dropping your pants, which he did do for a moment. Talking about Mark Wahlberg now, let's transition back to Brian. So with all that being said, then Brian came on the show and told his side of the story, and so let's get into what he had to say regarding what Tichina had to say, and we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
So we ended up fooling around and kind of dating, but it's funny. So the pride that you say in culture and race, like I think coming from Martin, she was very clear in the Tichina, I love you. I love you. She was very clear on day one of like, nobody can know about this.
Really?
Nobody. Like, can't tell people, can't talk about this. And so I was in my early 20s. I was living in a culture that wasn't accepting of me, but there was no way to get out of it because that was just where my brain and my heart were.
Right.
So I was really insecure. And then I have someone who I'm attracted to who's telling me like, oh, you can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
I think for me, like it really triggered something of like, oh, okay, I'm not good enough for any of this. You don't even want your friends to know that you're hanging out with me.
You wanted to be out with her.
I wanted to in the beginning for sure. And then I quickly felt like, oh, okay. Just like my love of hip hop and all my other shit, like this is, I have to shut the up and, and sit in the back of the car and like, just be happy that I'm in the car.
Sorry, y'all. I had to blow my nose. But anyway, look, that's like what I said before, where some people was feeling like he was sort of cosplaying in the whole hip hop space. Oh, that's not even the right picture, Chad. He was cosplaying in the hip hop music space. I genuinely feel like he had a real love for hip hop music because I'm reading some of the comments over on Twitter. Some person said this is not unexpected. The 90s were rife with white people cosplaying blackness. Mark Hate Crime Wahlberg started his career that way. Well, Blackbird, I think you are incorrect on all this. Let me see how you look. Well, you look relatively young. So they said Gen X. So well, you still don't know what the hell you talking about. Because while there were a lot of white people out there who were cosplaying, because remember Snow Informer? Remember when he was trying to cosplay as a Jamaican? And for a minute, I thought he was Jamaican until we seen that video. I was like, they got white people in Jamaica doing the patois. It was him. And remember UB40? So there was a lot of white people out there that was cosplaying in the hip hop space. But I genuinely feel that Brian Austin Greene was someone who genuinely loved the genre of hip hop. Then one person said, I get it, David Silver was fine on 90210. Another person said, wait till you hear about his co-star Jason Priestley and Holly Robinson Pete. Oh, well, I do love me some Jason Priestley. First of all, I saw him in a movie. I forgot what it called. I think it was called Trackers or something or another with Corey Haim. He had a little minor role up in there, but I was like, oh, look at Jason Priestley when he was young. And they said he apparently only dated sisters back then. And another person said, oh, I can tell you're gonna be with someone white. I'm out of here. And he literally married someone white. Another person, I remember when he performed on Soul Train. Wild times of the year it was, because look, we was opening the doors and allowing white people to come in those spaces and perform. They wasn't really doing that on American Bandstand. We had to strong arm people to get up on there, but and MTV. But it's funny how the black shows was all for giving opportunities and things of that nature. Let's see what some more people are saying. Numbers, at least he know his place, because baby, he was fine white boy. And she was like, don't tell nobody, CTFU. Child, the secret's coming out. Another person says the actor from a preppy TV series that only allowed 3 black actors to be featured in 10. Really? This is what we doing? First of all, y'all act like that Brian Austin Greene created 90210. That was an Aaron Spelling show. So if anybody you want a windmill on that's still alive and could probably take the lashes, hit Tori up and ask her why her daddy only allowed token blacks to be on the show. Why would you blame Brian Austin Greene for that? He's an actor who was happy to get a part. He don't have a say in who gets to be in the casting. Some of y'all, I just be feeling like some of y'all need to be smacked. Now, the article also went on to say Greene, who dated 90210, because speaking of Tori Spelling, he also dated her, and Tiffany Thiessen played, as y'all know, David Silver for 10 seasons of the teen drama that aired from 1990 to 2000. And I'm not mad at over with this whole situation. And I was trying to see if there was anything else to add, but I feel like I showed the videos and all the stuff that said all that need to be said. And it's sad that, you know what, maybe it was too early for his time, because we wouldn't really embrace a white rapper in hip hop until the late 90s into the 2000s with Eminem. And I think like since then, I don't know if we've ever had somebody that matches Eminem's caliber in regards of a respected white rapper who respects the genre. I used to get pissed at MTV because y'all used to try to overhype him, because it's like, oh look, we got our great white hope. So now let's flourish him with all this stuff, while Eminem genuinely cared about the art of rap. But I saw the little shenanigans and tomfoolery that MTV and them was trying to do over there to prop him up to be this big megastar. When I don't think he minded the success, but he was genuinely someone that loved the art of the music, similar to Brian Austin Greene. So shout out to y'all, Brian and Tichina. And it said that y'all weren't able to get together, but who knows? I mean, I don't know if she's married, and I don't know. Well, I don't think he's with somebody right now, or he's done with Megan Fox. But I don't know if they would actually, since y'all older, y'all think y'all might want to rekindle that, kind of like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Oh, wait a minute, that's not a good analogy or a good example. Because remember, they reignited their flame, and we saw what happened with that after 2 years. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Well, y'all shaka did to hear this news that Brian Austin Greene and Tichina Arnold hooked up back in the day at the height of their careers. You know, him on 90210 and Pam on Martin. So saw that Martin Lawrence spoke recently about, oh my God, who was the artist who was out here talking about that Martin was, the way they was coming at Pam and all that stuff was colorism. And he was basically like, that's how we talked back in the day. We would just get on people and rank and do other stuff. I swear to Christ, a lot of you new generation people, y'all get on my goddamn root canal nerve, where y'all be trying to come in here with y'all little theses and citations on things that would, the way they were back in the day, before you was even having the vernacular to understand how things were 20, 30 some odd years ago, when you wasn't even a thought in your daddy's balls to be up in here speaking on old shows. But that's a whole nother topic for, who was it, Ari Lennox that said that? Her little air brain behind. But anyway, so that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Dion Cole is Bessie. I thought you were going to pull up a photo. Guess I'll do it myself. What photo? He was cute. He looks okay right now. You talking about when they was younger? These were related, but ultimately separate things. He didn't really address what she said. Well, he did kind of. Well, he was kind of he did kind of get upset because of the whole thing about she was talking about that what she like about black men is, their smell of whatever. And they what they be saying about white people and scents and things. I was like, we're not gonna go there with that. So he did kind of address it in a way. What's the wooden floor lick curse? Huh? I don't know what you doing about. But you agree with her what she said on the whole colorism thing? All right, y'all. Now let's move on and get back into the show. And let's talk about Robyn. So Robyn recently made an appearance on the Las Culturistas podcast. Now, speaking of colonization, I don't understand how a homosexual white man and an Asian who wants to be white so damn bad are out here culturally appropriating a Hispanic name for their show. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. I just want to put it out there. So yeah. So Robyn appeared on the show. I didn't watch the show because after first of all, I don't particularly care for Matt. Shout out to Don Lemon because Don is shady. I know he said he was trying to be shady, but girl, you was giving nothing but shade when you gave your overall review about the whole thing with Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers had said about Jasmine Crockett. And you hit the nail on the head with your point, with the talking points. But him saying I don't know him and I don't know this. Quiet as kept. Not many people know who Matt Rogers is. We know who Bowen Yang is because of SNL and Fire Island, which they both were in, by the way. But maybe he never saw that movie. Because Don Lemon only hangs out at the Hamptons. He too good for Fire Island. But anyway, so they recently did an interview with Robyn. I wanted to watch the episode, but because I find those homosexuals to be so goddamn annoying. And this is before they had did this whole thing with going in and just with the misinformation and not having the vernacular to speak on politics regarding Jasmine Crockett. I was like, I'm not sitting through the show because they're gonna make me not like this girl. And we like Robyn because she is that bitch when it comes to dance music, pop music, whatever the case is. But with them, I just feel like the way some of you flaming queens be acting on these shows, y'all be ODing in regards of like the fangirling and all. And it just comes across so fake and phony. And I can't stand a fake and phony podcast with fake and phony ass people. But anyway, she was on the show and she made a comment about Elon Musk, because they have a segment on it, which is the same segment that they use when I think they was talking about Jasmine Crockett. I don't think so, honey, thing, which kind of feels like they're trying to imitate a sassy black woman. When it be, I don't think so. Like that's what it goes. Y'all don't want a black woman to be the senator of Texas, but you like using black woman isms in order to, you know, as a caricature for how y'all want to act on y'all show. Maybe that makes sense. So Robyn, the queer favorite pop mathematician behind Sad Banger Dancing on My Own, has bashed tech billionaire Elon Musk, saying that she has always hated him. Now, speaking of former SNL star Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers, because they call him a comedian, but I ain't never heard nothing funny come out of his damn mouth, on their Las Culturistas podcast, the Swedish pop deity revealed the precise moment that she decided that she hated the Tesla founder. She said, I've always hated him. Way before it was cool to hate him. There was a time when it wasn't cool to hate him. People didn't even think about him that much, at least. You know what happened for me? I started hating him when he put a Tesla in space with a David Bowie song on it. He actually shot a car into space as if there wasn't enough shit floating around. Well, look at Robyn, the environmentalist. And she's from Sweden. They don't particularly like all that capitalism BS and all. They're all about health, universal health care and all other stuff, which is probably why a lot of the Swedes are much happier and the Norwegians and things are much happier than Americans. And then I saw a video where Americans are running over to Mexico to get their teeth done and their glasses done because they can't afford any of their stuff in the United States. And I saw people in the comments talking about, well, they're doing it the right way, right? They're going overseas. They have their passport. They're getting stamped and all. I said, y'all are so goddamn obtuse. Y'all missing the point. Or maybe y'all just really playing dumb. Or maybe you're just dumb, period. The whole point of it is, if America is so great as this president is trying to make it as, why y'all run to Mexico, the place where y'all hate the people because y'all want to ship all the people back to Mexico because y'all think every goddamn immigrant, quiet as a kept, or Hispanic is Mexican, number one. So y'all want them all to go to Mexico, but you want to go over there and get your perks because you want new teeth, new glasses, new whatever, because our healthcare system is shit. But y'all couldn't read between the thing. I hate when people play dumb, and then I got to sit up here and break it on down so it makes sense to people. It's like, we're not going to sit up here and play obtuse. I got to show y'all the hypocrisy. But I think because I'm going to be honest, she's right. We weren't really thinking about Elon Musk that much until he decided to infiltrate our politics. He decided to buy up Twitter, indoctrinate a lot of our stuff, and become part of Doge when he's not even a citizen. So that way he can cut off a lot of those investigations that were into his companies and all the red tape that was in place, because he wanted to build, the things that he wanted to build. And a lot of his stuff was under investigation, a lot of his companies. So Trump, because he gave Trump hundreds of millions of dollars, allowed him to go up in there and gut a lot of our federal situations. Once you started infiltrating our politics is when people started to hate him. And what people need to realize is that he thought that he was going to come up in here and have be similar to Trump and having his personality and people would like him. But he came across as unlikable, a weirdo, goofy, and he spent more time in the goddamn K-hole than he does taking care of his kids. But yet and still, I did hear that story that he's trying to gain sole custody of another one of his children from his girlfriend. I said, well, all you dumb broads that sit and spread your legs for this man because he's a trillionaire, y'all don't realize what come with that? He already fucked up, taking that baby, what's his name, Exashe 12 from Grimes. And she out here fighting to get custody of that child or see the baby or whatever the case is. He already turned that little boy into Damien Jr., Damien Thorne from The Omen. And now he's trying to get another one of his kids. And he got 12 or 13 of them. He out here trying to compete with Nick Cannon. So now in February 2018, Musk launched his electric sports car Tesla Roadster into space as part of the payload of his Falcon Heavy test flight, which was operated by an aerospace company, SpaceX. The car featured a human mannequin named Starman after Bowie's 1972 song of the same name in the driver's seat. The car played Bowie's 1969 and 1971 hit Space Oddity and Live on Mars on a loop on the radio during its ascent. While Musk was already a controversial figure at the time, having become a billionaire 6 years prior, all thanks to Obama too, because he was giving him incentives when he shouldn't have. The test launch occurred some years before Musk became, I think it was $600 million he actually gave him, became equally known for espousing right-wing views as for his entrepreneurship. Saying, this is the thing, this is what she said, I think there should be democracy in space. There should be democracy on Earth too, yes, which we really maybe don't even have at the moment. But the fact that anyone or any commercial company can decide what to do with natural resources and also do tacky things like sending a stupid fucking car into space, that's also dangerous for people. Yeah, because we got people out here who's endangering the environment, climate change, all these other things. People who are we got psychopaths like RFK Jr., who is the bastard of the family, fucking with our health and our health care. So when you got these and look, when one of them gets sick, I guarantee you they running to get the best of the best. But screw us, because we ain't them. But like I've always said about Republicans, they only care when it affects them. Just selfishness. Think about the astronauts that are up there in the International Space Station and they don't really know what's going to hit them or whatever. Can we all just have a vote on whoever gets to do anything? Well, as long as you got money, and that's what we've come to learn in this situation. As long as you have millions of dollars or billions of dollars, as long as you got money, you could do whatever you want. Consequences be damned. You can get away with murder. You can get away with impeachments. You can get away with all kinds of, criminal activities, as long as you can buy your way out of it. And that's kind of like what's been the main thing that we've been learning. So Robyn joins a long list of entertainment figures to speak out against Musk, who frequently uses his platform on Twitter, which he owns, to speak out against the trans community. Now, musician Grimes, who I just mentioned, who shares 3 children with her former partner Musk, previously said that she was endlessly proud of Musk's estranged daughter, Vivian Jenna Wilson, after Musk claimed that the 21-year-old model had been unalived by the woke mind virus. And I think speaking of which, the reason why he's going after another one of his baby mothers is because I think she had made a pro-trans comment that pissed him off. Well, sir, you got a trans daughter. Stay mad. Now, White Chicks actor Marlon Wayans has also voiced his support for Wilson and slammed Musk for his treatment of his daughter. Singer Billie Eilish has also spoken out against Musk's wealth as he inches, and she also spoke out against Zuckerberg to his face as he inches closer to becoming the world's first trillionaire. Now, earlier this month, Robyn, as y'all know, announced a 9th studio album and her first record in 8 years, Sexistential. And she also talked about that with the upcoming album, it was all about exploring her sensual side. And she also said that with, I believe, is it Sexistential? I think it was. She said that that song was actually inspired by Andre 3000 because he had made a comment about nobody wants to hear anybody rapping in their 40s. And she was like, I'm gonna make a challenge. I'm gonna challenge myself on that because I don't think it's like we don't want to hear artists rap. First of all, it's weird because when you look at my generation or you look at someone like a Robyn or whatever the case is, you don't think about, oh, these people are in their 40s, they just need to hang it up or whatever the case was. We still got that youthful spirit about us. And I think mentally, like if you are a homosexual, well, I speak for me. I still feel like I'm relatively mentally, physically in my 20s. Yes, there be times where it's like the next day I'll be feeling it in my body, which you do as you get older, but I still feel youthful. I still got that same spark and that same energy. So age is a number. It's all about how you feel, not how old you are. That's how I kind of look at it. So and I think she also said like with this song, like she wanted to speak on some controversial social. She's out here rapping about an IVF, having a baby without a man. So I think that's really and that song has grown on me, by the way. Um, so I'm looking forward to the record. And it's like, look, rap about whatever you want to rap about. If you still got it and you still have the ability to be creative, have at it. Don't listen to these people. So shout out to you, Robyn, and fuck you, Elon. So I say all this to say, um, what do you guys think of this story regarding what Robyn had to say about Elon Musk? I do agree. Like, it's like maybe Robyn's always been ahead of her time musically, creatively, and even when it comes to Elon Musk, because now, because like I said, he's indoctrinated himself in American politics, but you're not even an American. That's why people don't like him. But she said, I was hating on him for years, ever since he did that stupidness when how do you inject a car into space? He can't even get a shuttle to go up without exploding. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said, no, it was colorism in that. Oh, were you talking about Martin? Well, it's got a name now, but remember when he used to call her BDB? Sometimes I'll be calling some of these broads out here BDBs. He said too many of them said they don't wash. Child. Pointing that out doesn't mean we were sensitive and Martin, as many black folks, when this is brought up, don't own up to. He went hard to insult Pam in comparison to Gina. Well, he definitely did got though. He was a little harsh on Pam. Them jokes is funny though. I ain't gonna hold you. He said, and don't get me started on Shanae said Big Mama is seeing his dating history. It was obvious he's a colorist, like many black male celebs. You said I don't watch Las Culturistas to have an opinion, but I feel that way about Owen Thiele, I think is how you say that. Who is that? I never heard of him. Who's that? Very short-sighted to think you about to secure the bag from Musty. I always hated Elon too. I never understood how he has so many kids because he has the money to do so. You know, when people out here got all kinds of coins, they could, do whatever they want. Consequences be damned. I don't watch Las Culturistas either. I tried watching some of the interviews they did with Mariah, but stop. Damn. You said you watched 10 minutes. You stopped watching 10 minutes in. Question. What was it about them that made you want to turn it off? Was it the fact that you got Matt and Bowen just being loud, sassy, and annoying? Is that what it was? Is that they were just being like your stereotypical homosexuals that you were just like, y'all really annoying. Like, I need y'all to sit up here and really ask questions and interview and converse with these celebrities, but you're being annoying. That's why it was like, when it comes down to it, I agree with, I don't know, I was watching John Campier the other day. He was talking about interviewing celebrities or whatever, and how he says he doesn't like doing it. He always felt like doing those and the going to screenings for movies is a waste of time, because a lot of times y'all don't really care about you're never going to meet these big major celebrities, so it's their stories are not interesting. Because he said that one time he did a video on, he interviewed I think he said Robert Downey Jr., and then he did a video on his favorite movie snacks, and he was like, well, guess what video got more views? His favorite movie snacks, because y'all care more about that than you would an interview with Robert Downey Jr. You can see an interview with Robert Downey Jr. anywhere, just like you can see an interview with Robin anywhere. And I think it depends on who the person is. I think I would watch a Robin interview only if it was like Zane Lowe or somebody, because we trust him, we know him, and we know what type of vibe he's gonna bring to that. Or if Robin did Hot Ones, that'll be an interesting one. Because it's like you ask her crazy questions and she eating hot shit, which we can relate to. And that lets you put your guard down. We don't want to see a bunch of annoying ass tweens like Matt and Bowen doing an interview with her. Because you're about to make us more, you're about to irritate me off this interview. And it's y'all that are annoying. And not even the artist, because you're making it about you. Love Robert even more now. I still listen to Dancing on My Own at the gym. Look, I'm looking forward to this new album because I need something else to dance to. He used to ask for Robyn Sex Essentials being released on the same day as Harry's album, and Robyn will be listened to first. And probably for the rest of the weekend. But we know you a Robyn stan. But yeah. Quiet as it's kept, I'll be listening to her album first too. And I'll probably be running that into the ground before I even think about listening to Harry. Harry Styles might be a record I will listen to on my way home from work or whatever. Cause like I need something to like mellow me out or whatever after a crazy day at the Garden. I would rather listen to that than, and if Robyn decides to do a tour, which I'm hoping she does, I'm definitely getting tickets. Oh, I never heard of him. I don't know her. They said Matt annoyed me and Bowen was trying to. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is that y'all keep calling them comedians or whatever, and it's like, just be natural, just be yourself. Maybe because they're young, but then again, I think they're both in their 30s. Y'all ain't that damn young. But that's that Hollywood. I'm trying so hard to be funny. Like that's that insecurity, and it's just like, just be yourselves. And I think that's the thing that has rubbed me the wrong way about the both of them. Y'all just fake. I don't like phoniness when it comes to people. I need y'all to be y'all authentic selves. And yeah, when you up there, you trying to be funny or whatever, and it's like, when you try to be funny, you're not. You don't end up being funny. Which is why I just naturally say whatever comes out the mouth, and y'all, if you laugh, you laugh. If you don't, I've already made peace with the fact that, not every joke or every shady comment I say is going to land. And you got to be at peace with that. I can't sit through a Las Culturistas video either. I couldn't finish their Gaga, Ariana, or Charlie interview. They have the same energy as teenage fangirls with backstage. Oh, yeah. And it's like, first of all, y'all are grown ass men out here acting like a bunch of 15-year-olds, the interviewers. And yeah, that's another thing too. I think that's definitely the reason why I don't particularly care for them, because they make it about themselves. And when you start making it about you instead of the artist, I can't ride with you. That's why I like Zane Lowe shows, because he really makes it about the artist and has a genuine interest in having conversations with these people rather than making it about himself. And teeters into something that's relatable, then he'll bring it around about himself. But he doesn't make the thing about, oh look, I got an interview with this A-lister. Cause that's kind of what it gives. It's like, okay, but we don't care. We ain't come here to see y'all. My friend said, Cordonta is looking for a dead week, but she's afraid the minute she locks it, other people will too. She wants a number one, but because her fans don't, she gotta make peace with the fact that why are you out here trying to compete for number ones and all this other stuff? You just need to cater. I forgot who said this. It might have been Kylie or somebody. You can't force a number one. You gotta have a full confidence in this record because she didn't know Padam Badam was gonna be a huge hit. They just put it out there. And people resonated with it, and it introduced her to a younger audience. You just got to put that song out there and hope for the best. And I think that what you need to focus on, I wish I knew which artist had said this recently. But there was one artist that was like, I want to focus on the fans that I got. I built my fandom the way I built it. I'm doing this. If the newer generation, I think it might have been Karen White, that interview that Funky Dineva did with, and if the new fans want to come along and discover the music, then that's great. But I'm gonna focus on the fandom that I built. And I'm sure the Madonna fans will help her go number one. But you can't sit out here and control and force a number one. That's not how the industry works. Has she got in the industry that long? She don't know how the landscape is. Because sis, you out here competing with streamers. So you just need to build your thing. Because quiet as it's kept, your other contemporary Lady Gaga, was she getting number ones with the Mayhem album? She didn't. None of them songs went number one. Quiet as it's kept, none of them went number five. So, or top five. So what did she do? She focused on the tour. The tour has made her a shit ton of money. So that's what you need to focus on. The singles, I mean, except Die With a Smile, but then she tacked that on. We already knew the strategy behind that foolishness, and she needed Bruno Mars to get that. But at the end of the day, she focused on the tour, and that's what you need to do. You need to focus on, put them songs out there, whatever, how they do, they do. You still an icon, and people want to come out and be shady about, oh, she lost it. She didn't get that number one. She's 67. You still thinking people at a certain age, they still out here trying to compete with these fucking Tate McRae's and these Benson Boones and all these other 20 something odd year olds. I'm not trying to compete with them. I'm still that bitch. That's how I would take it. And I'm still out here doing my thing. None of these, because I'd be like, none of you hoes could touch me in the touring department as much as y'all try. Remember, y'all use my blueprint for the touring to do what y'all do. Y'all wasn't doing these tours the way I was doing them until I started doing them. So focus on the niche that you good at. Release your singles, however they do, they do. Then focus on the tour and eat these children up. Have them gagging over that. Bowen will always be that, not the Asian hire. Child, could we call him a DEI hire? To me, even when they had a guest appearance on All Stars 8, the same episode, Heidi and Closet Quit. I forgot he was on there. Yes, they turn on instead of are naturally funny. And that's why I said, I don't like, I guess maybe because I've always been like, it's just a natural thing. I just say stuff and people laugh. I can't now, if I had to sit and write some jokes, I know I can't do that. It just naturally comes out, whatever. But it's like, I'm not going to come up here and start acting phony and trying to turn on, because if I do that, then y'all going to see through that shit and y'all going to come for me. And I ain't going to have y'all read me for trying to be fake. I mostly watch YouTube and streaming. I don't use Spotify much to listen to music. I don't use Spotify at all. I heard that they're about to raise the price on Spotify. I didn't see how much they're going to be raising to, but I did hear they're about to raise the price on that. I just got an email that they talking about they're going to raise the price for Paramount Plus. I'm like, and y'all ain't got shit on there? A lot of petty and parasocial Madonna fans want her to go to number one because Janet's last album went number one. Tate and Benson do not have number one albums. Well, I just use them as an example. I know they didn't have number one albums. But I just use them as examples because they're young. And her trying to compete with her contemporaries and stuff. It's like, I wasn't even thinking about Janet. Quite as I can't even keep track of what Janet's doing. And I keep seeing that grape juice keep talking about she's teasing something. I'm like, child, pay it. Like every time I turn around, they've been talking about she gonna release Black Rose, Black Flower, Black something for uh 20 some odd years at this point. I don't care. Like just release the music or shut the fuck up. That's what I gotta say about these artists that y'all always be teasing this and teasing that, and then nothing happens. I watched Britney's Dream Within a Dream tour yesterday after I was mesmerized. That was one of her best tours. And she said that was like one of her favorite tours. She even said, I won Britney audience. How come it's harder to get this generation? The answer is they weren't born when she was huge. That's true, because Britney was huge in like what, 99, 2000? They weren't born when she was huge. So for her to think she was going to be on top forever was. Huh? Zane Lowe is similar. He just doesn't act like a groupie. I never seen him be critical in front of an artist. He just fans out to the music as opposed to Bowen and Matt who fan out to the artist and have this perception of who they are. Janet is teasing something. See, that's me being naturally funny. I didn't know it was gonna be a joke or y'all was gonna laugh. I just said it's like child pay it. It says she always teasing some shit. I don't care about Billboard either. First of all, I don't know why people still out here are cucking to Billboard numbers or whatever. That's the same thing as people out here cucking to, well, Rotten Tomatoes has this. Who gives a fuck? 9 times out of 10, a lot of those people on Rotten Tomatoes ain't real reviewers any damn way. And so I don't sit up in there and equate what critics or whatever have to say to determine whether or not I like something. I either like it or you don't. Because, like I said, art is subjective. You like what you like. Everybody's not going to like what you like. I'm not going to go by what a critic says and deter me from liking something. Even hasn't she done another damn tour? And you already know what's going to give the same thing it always gives, the same choreography, the same songs. She does medleys now. She don't even sing her songs completely. And she give you 2 minutes of everything. She'll go and give you a 2-minute version of Escapade, a 2-minute version of Pleasure Principle. Then, of course, you got to go into the choreography for Rhythm Nation. It's the same fucking tour every time. And y'all sit and eat it up. And I love Janet. Janet's an icon. Janet is the girl. I love her core. I love her as an artist, whatever the case. She give y'all the same show. She don't evolve nothing she does. And so if that's what y'all want to keep paying for the same show that y'all been seeing for the past 12 years, be my guest. She doesn't push herself as an artist. And you can't say she ain't got the money because she do. Stop caring about Rotten Tomatoes after college. Agreed. I will watch whatever the I want. Janet is still the lady who gave us the Velvet Rope. I love the Velvet Rope tour, but that was the last good tour she came out with. Because at least she was doing something different then. Oh damn, it was that long? Might have been. All right. Where we going? Okay, so now let's get into some heated rivalry tea, because we got a lot of heated rivalry stuff to report. So know why I wasn't thinking about this, but with Connor Story playing a Russian hockey player or a hockey player from Russia who plays in, I forget what team he plays for, whatever. It's neither here nor there, but he plays outside of Russia as a hockey player and doing the accent, all those stuff. But one of the things I think I might have thought about it, but I didn't really think about it until they did a story on it, was that how Russian people feeling about this show? Because I'm sure there are a lot of Russian homosexuals, but because of Putin and a lot of his anti-LGBT laws, um, a lot of people have to stay in the closet and things of that nature. Well, word on the curve is this show is so damn popular and people are living for this show that people over in Russia are willing to bend the rules just so they can watch it or break the law, as they said. So the Canadian romantic sports drama series Heated Rivalry, which premiered in November of 2025, has emerged, and I just heard in the UK it premiered this week. Like, we already saw the show was done, and they just now getting it. But we'll get into that story when I have to bring up something regarding to that. When we talk about that versus the queer as folk thing. So, They said it emerged as a major television hit in 2026, captivating audiences worldwide with its story of rivals to lovers between professional hockey players Shane Hollander, a Canadian phenom played by Hudson Williams, and Ilya Rozanov, a Russian star portrayed by Connor Story. The series, adapted from Rachel Reed's books by writer-director Jacob Tierney and executive producer Brendan Brady, chronicles the men's secret physical and emotional relationships spanning years from 2008 to 2017, touching on themes of queer identity in sports. In Russia, where the series is unavailable on official streaming platforms due to stringent laws prohibiting libidical plus propaganda, yeah, that's what they call it. Anything gay is propaganda. Saying fans are reportedly breaking the law to watch it, marking a bold act of defiance amid escalating repression against queer people. Russia's federal law banning propaganda of non-traditional sexual relations to minors? Who says only minors out fucking? It's be grown homosexuals that's out there trying to get it in. But that's what they want to equate it to? Because they love equating being gay with pedophilia. Oh, sorry, pedophilia. So, Russia's federal law banning propaganda of non-traditional sexual relations to minors, enacted in 2013 and expanded in 2022 to apply to all ages, forbids content depicting libidical plus relationships with fines up to 400,000 rubles for individuals and 5 million rubles for organizations. Well, my Russian people, if there's anybody out there, I need y'all to do the math. How much would 400,000 rubles and 5 million rubles be in American dollars? I'm trying to see something because I don't know what that equates to because I don't live in Russia. Now, what is it? Kino Poisik, I think is how you say it. Russia's leading film and television review aggregator, similar to Rotten Tomatoes, shows Heated Rivalry with an 8.6 rating from over 385 users, one of the site's highest. Telegram channels for Russian fans have exploded in popularity, with some surpassing 34,000 subscribers, where users share episodes, clips, and discussions, often using VPNs to mask their activity. Piracy is another common method. A torrent of the full first season boasts over 500 seeders on a major Russian piracy site, indicating widespread sharing despite legal risks. The show's resonance in Russia is amplified by its narrative, which includes Ilya's fears about returning home, which I thought was a great scene. And damn, I may have to equate that when we talk about it later on, because there was something where people was talking about that these characters aren't fully. That was the criticism when they was talking about with the queer folk versus Heated Rivalry situation, where they were trying to say that, oh, there's no real development of the characters and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, there's a whole scene where you see Ilya's going through it because his father died. He had to return home to Russia. His brother and him got into a big fight because the brother basically wants Ilya to take care of him and the family. Oh, now that dad, then what about me? And all this other stuff. It's like, and then there's a big thing regarding that. And then there's a scene where it's like he gets on the phone and he basically, I don't know if it was on the phone or if it was a scene where him and oh my god, what is the other guy? Shane, when he was basically saying all of the things that he really felt for Shane, but the only way he can get it out is in Russian. So I love that scene. And then the whole thing about Shane asking if it's safe for Ilya in Russia, to which he basically said, "What do you mean safe? What difference does it make?" Later, when discussing the relationship, he said, "I wouldn't be able to go home again ever. Do you get that? I would not be able to go back to Russia. I don't want to find out what would happen if exposed." These lines mirror real dangers for libidical plus people in Russia, where post 2013 laws have shuttered organizations, blocked websites, and targeted social media. Further measures include 2021 bans on same-sex marriage and adoption, 2023 prohibitions on gender-affirming care and trans adoptions, and a November 2023 Supreme Court ruling labeled the International Libidical Movement's extremists punishable for up to 12 years in prison. So if y'all out here hunting, you can go to jail for 12 years for being gay. So for trans people and others in Russia's queer community, these laws compound isolation with activities advising people to remain closeted for safety, as many visible Levitical plus individuals have fled. In 2017 and 2019, Chechnya purges, documented in Welcome to Chechnya, underscore brutal enforcement, including torture and killings of gay men. Russia's 2022 Ukraine invasion raises alarms for Levitical plus Ukrainians, fearing imposition of these policies. Now, Heated Rivalry's explicit depiction of gay intimacy and bisexuality in hockey culture has fueled its global buzz, with season 2 in production for early 2027. And Reed's final book is coming out. I think it was called Unrivaled. We talked about that the other day. That's coming out in the fall. So I will say this. Oh yeah, and then also perfect example. There is a what's his name? Nick Gaga, who is a Lady Gaga impersonator, drag queen. He does shows out in New York where he does full-on Lady Gaga productions where he dresses up as her and has dancers and everything and emulates a lot of what she does in her shows. He talks about how, he is from Russia, how he left the country and came to, as a refugee, came to America because he was gay and wanted to live out loud and proud. So there are people that are dealing with this situation where they're trying to leave their homeland that ostracizes them, and it's illegal to be yourself. And I just love the fact that this one, because I understand, I know like people are just like, what is it about this show that has got people so caught up? There's been so many gay shows that have come out that have been canceled after like one season, but it's this show particularly that has really gotten people's attention, that has really changed. I just think it's the overall topic of it all. First of all, you got closeted sports people, which is something that has always been buzzing around, but it is a hot topic and it's got people's interest, especially in something as um conservative as hockey, meaning like a lot of the fans teeter in a bit conservative. So to have closeted athletes in this particular sport is interesting. Also, you have someone who is playing a Russian character, and you're dealing with a lot of his struggles with his sexuality and knowing like his homeland and how they treat queer people and how he has to put on this facade when he goes back home to Russia. And it's mentioned in the show that he's carried while he was out in Russia. So people out there doing their thing. You just got to be strategic about it. So there's a lot of hot button topics, and then plus, of course, is the sex. But it's not just the sex that they're being so forthright and unapologetic about it, which is kind of like the same vibe we got when we watch Queer as Folk. It's just that there's a lot of topics in there that are really like touchy subject things, and I think that's what's got people interested in this show versus other shows. So shout out to all the Russians out there that are in the struggle, that are sitting out here trying to fight to be their authentic selves and are willing to risk persecution and prison time and fines so that way they can see some kind of representation of themselves there. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story about Heated Rivalry got the Russians in a chokehold like the rest of the world? So whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. You said the UK edited the show. You said, all my support to Russian fam. I know it's not easy over there. I guess we don't realize how lucky we got it. But then soon I feel like we're going to be out here fighting for our legal rights as queer people, because especially with this psychotic ass administration. You said 5 million Russian ruble equals, who the hell got $64,000 in US dollars? That's a lot of money. 51K US dollars to 64, what's that, million American dollars converted? Jesus. 400,000 rubles is 5,143 US dollars. Well, thank y'all for doing all the math because I ain't got time. I just got to report. I just here reporting the news for fines that high and punishment that extreme for any related to gayness. Yo, Putin, hello. Because you can't tell me. I would not be surprised if all of them kind of into that shit. Him, Trump, all of them. Because y'all do be protesting a little too much. That's been my question too. Like, why this show specifically? What about it captures so many hearts? It's fascinating. It can be all the things that I mentioned. I think it has to deal with no stereotypes and more realistic base. I get the military show was also good, but maybe don't sell queer shows to us TV net, or I say US TV. And that was another thing too, because there was a story, and I guess we'll get into it. We get to the François stuff, but there was a story that came out that François. Well, you know what? I'll save it for when we get to that part, so that way I can have it in part of the thing. Can distribute. So I was now that the show is a huge hit, they'll probably get a bigger budget and maybe more episodes. As I was watching Degrassi earlier this week, and I realized something. The storyline between Zayn and Riley on Degrassi sounds very similar to what I've heard about HR. They're both Canadian production. Yeah, well, the Canadians be pushing the boundaries. I'm still pissed off at who y'all picked to win Canada's Drag Race last night, but I was like, really, bitch? That's who y'all chose? Justice for Ebony. And I was like, the y'all choice was a chop. But anyway, all right, y'all. So now, speaking of heated rivalry, let's get into some more heated rivalry news. And let's talk about François Arnaud. So, François, is bisexual in real life. Unless you don't know now, you know, because he has talked about it. There's some controversy about him not following the cat or unfollowing the cast, whatever the case was. But speaking of which, there was something that we were talking about earlier in the show where we were talking about like what's so fascinating about the show and all this other stuff, and the fact that he mentioned that when he was up for this part, he had his managers advise him not to take the role. Similar to what I was hearing a lot of actors when they were trying to be a part of Queer as Folk, told them not to get up in there and do the part, whatever the case was. I guess times was different, but he said, and he fired they behinds. So the manager was telling him not to do it. I fired them, which I think was smart on your part because he's 40 years old. He's been trying to get at this for a long time. And now this is an opportunity for a lifetime. And I feel so much passion for this show that I want to be a part of it. And he ended up booking it, and the rest is history. But the thing that I find fascinating is the fact that they said that at first they did try to sell this show to the U.S. market, but then they were like, they didn't want to show kissing until later on in the show, and they didn't want them to like fornicate until like episode 5. Mind you, it was only 6 episodes, right, of the season. But you want me to wait all the way to the end for them to do the gay stuff? So he was like, either I do it the way they want me to do it in America, or I get to do it on a smaller budget, but I get to do what I want to do with the show in Canada. And smartly, the creator went over to Canada and Crave and did the show, which I would have did the same thing. I'm like, I'd rather do it on a smaller budget. We'll just find creative ways to do what we got to do. But it is what it is. So so he revealed that before we get into this thing about him unfollowing, they said that that he plays Scott Hunter on the show, and basically was saying that in addition of the show's Levitical Plus representation, he went on CBS Mornings to talk about the show. And while he talked to Gayle King, he said he was on Schitt's Creek. I didn't know he was on that. I never watched that show, so I didn't know he was on that. But he said he always believed in the show and thought it would find an audience. He then revealed that his previous managers refused to read it. He explained their reasoning was, we can't pitch you for big things if you're going to be doing a random miniseries abroad. Arnaud then confirmed that he's with different managers now. See, and it's funny how y'all say that because y'all still using the same talking points that y'all was using 25, 30 years ago. Oh, if you do this queer show, then I can't pitch you to another thing about you. I'm like, first of all, you dumbasses, I'm a fucking actor. My job is to portray different characters when I'm on the screen. So if your lazy asses can't do the work, the heavy lifting I'm paying you to do, mind the way, to pitch me in meetings for other parts, then I don't need y'all working for me because I see what this is. So I'm gonna fire you. I'm gonna bring in new managers. And look, his career's taking off. So sometimes at the end of the day, I think the main goal of this is go with your gut. If you feel passionate about something and people trying to talk you out of it, that means that you're on the right track. And that's something that you definitely need to pursue. And whether or not it works, you never know until you cross that bridge, but just go with your gut. So um I saw that he met up with he was backstage with Gail, then I saw he also met up with Oprah. And the one of the things I loved about him that he was saying was like she was like, "Oh yeah," I gagged when she was talking about that people were talking about at the gym. I'm like, "What is going on?" Like we got women in their 70s, we got freaking boomers talking about this show, and women of Oprah's age or whatever. I'm assuming talking about heated rivalry at the gym. Like this is how crazy this show is taking over the world. And he said, I'm just riding the wave. And if I would have gotten this success when I was in my 20s, I'd be dead. And you want to know something, sir? That's what I've said. So I always say, like, when it comes to my stuff, I'm glad that a lot of the success and everything that I'm doing is coming now versus when I was in my, because I said I'd probably be a damn junkie in the streets, probably a Methodist, put meth in caps, and then dist. If you're not getting where I was picking up what I'm putting down, I'd have been not an actual religious person. That's what I call people who like to smoke that glass dingling. So I'm probably a hot mess somewhere, you know, selling my ass for change. If I would have gotten success in my 20s, that's why I'm glad I'm receiving all this now because I feel like I'm a well-rounded person and I've done all the things I've done in other places and I've seen how other people's careers have or how they've taken advantage of things. Now that I'm able to be fully within myself as a person, I can receive all the rewards that come and the success and stuff with that. So I'm ready for whatever's, gonna come. And I definitely see that with François. He's like, yeah, I'm just riding the wave. And that's what you got to do. You just got to be present, be in the moment. So now there's this whole thing because he's having the success and he's riding the wave. Now you goddamn and this is what I hate about the fandom because I'm glad the show is successful and there's this whole Beatlemania thing that's happening with Hunter. I mean, is his name? No, Hudson and Connor, who are like the big main stars of the thing. So now you super fans, y'all getting out of control. This is why I don't like the stan culture side because then y'all just be out here ruining it for everybody. Because Francois, they said, had to delete a lot of people, unfollow a lot of people on social media because a lot of you fans was getting mad that him and Connor were on a plane together. And y'all assuming, because I'm like, let me find out y'all out here trying to out Connor, even though I do feel like he family. But still, they're like, no, we don't want them two together. We want him to get with Hudson. Mind you, didn't y'all out Hudson as heterosexual? Because he was trying to keep his private life private, and then y'all went and outed him saying with him having a girlfriend. Because they're trying to keep this whole mysteriousness up because of the success of the show. And we were in this is similar to like when pop stars, when I was coming up like the Backstreet Boys or whatever the case was, like a lot of the boy banners or whatever, you couldn't reveal you were in a relationship. Although it definitely worked for Britney and Justin, but we already saw what transpired with that. But for the most part, in my generation, when it came to like teenagers and all this other stuff, you couldn't even reveal you was in a relationship because they didn't want them to ruin that mystery and it had to be available to these girls. So y'all had to keep your relationship secret. It's the same thing with Hudson and Connor, but y'all was out here being nosy and you outed Hudson as having a girlfriend. So let's get into the story because I know I had to set all that up and give my opinion, but now let's get into the tea. So they said the hit Canadian series, Well, we don't need to go into the thing. We already know who does the series. It's a François cut his social media followers down from more than 1,000 to just 213 in the last week, according to Judge Jared. Now, some are speculating the purge is due to online threats François experienced during heated rivalries New York City Press Week, according to Page Six. Now, François appeared at JFK Airport with Connor, which prompted rumors that the two are dating. Fans who prefer Connor to be paired with his on-screen partner Hudson stirred up social media commotion on Twitter. Hold on as I switch over to the next photo. So they said nasty comments and online harassment seem to have caused Francois to limit his online presence, a fan posted. Another commented they need to leave this gentle king alone. And a third fan asked, the comments and harassment is horrible and unjustified, but I don't get unfollowing his cast members. One commenter is concerned the backlash will prevent Francois from returning for season 2 of the popular show, saying if because of toxic fans we don't get Francois Arnaud in season 2 of Heated Rivalry, I'm gonna lose my effing mind. Believe me. Well, here's the thing. He may be unfollowing people for whatever reasons he's unfollowing, but Francois is no fool. His career has started to skyrocket finally because of this show. You think I'm gonna quit a show because of y'all tired ass fans feeling away about me hanging out with a co-star that I work with? So I can't make friends if I'm acting on a set because y'all want certain people to be because you want to ship people that are already together on a TV show. And I already spoiled the plot for the upcoming book, the new book that they got coming out in the fall, Unrivaled. Ilya and Shane get married and end up playing on the same team. So what you get mad for? It's a show. People just need to enjoy things for what they are and stop thinking this is real damn life. I think a lot of y'all, if y'all really are taking this to the heart and harassing people over because they're hanging out with a co-star on their set, y'all really need to go outside and touch some grass. I know it's cold out right now because it's the winter, but depending on where y'all at, if you out on the other side of the equator in the summertime, get your ass outside and touch some grass. If y'all out here harassing celebrities, and if it's wintertime and you can find some grass, because when fall happens, leaves be disappearing, the grass be looking a hot mess, and until the springtime comes, then it gets all spruced up again. Find some dirt and touch it. The dirt is available. Go touch that. So I don't understand some of y'all. Y'all be doing too damn much. But then I saw an article over on Pink News where they basically talked about he responded in regards to the whole situation, like explain the unfollows and the refollows. Because I did wonder, why did you unfollow everybody? But then came this whole situation where I saw, I think on his Instagram, he posted this picture. Hold on, as I pulled that up. Yeah, so he posted this picture of all his cast members giving the middle finger, but they're blurred out with hearts. And it said, learning from the very best at Hudson Williams Official. So we tagged them in it. And then some people in the comments say, you are so loved, respected, and cherished. Then they're showing a scene. It said, good job, I love you. And then it was showing like one of the scenes from Heated Rivalry. Another person said, please never change. You are such a welcome breath of fresh air that is needed more than ever. You, your co-stars, and Jacob are such an inspiration to be unapologetically yourself, and I'm grateful to be able to witness the revolution y'all are creating. Even if it may not feel that way to each of you, it may sound cheesy, but you guys are the game changers in so many ways. Thank you for that. I hope you all never lose your spot. Yeah, don't get sucked up in this whole Hollywood situation. So yeah, it seemed like a lot of positive situations. It still doesn't, because let me scroll and see if they even mention. I don't even think they mention why he followed and this. However, at this time of writing, Arnaud is now following co-stars Williams, Connor Story, and Robbie GK again. Robbie GK, of course, plays his Francois boo on the show. First of all, that is the finest man they got on that damn show, quiet as it's kept. Now, furthermore, he also refollowed show creator Jacob Tierney, because there was a thing where they were saying that he unfollowed all of them. But yeah, it doesn't explain why he did it. And I guess Maybe he doesn't need to explain why he unfollowed and refollowed. But maybe he was letting it get to him at one point and then probably was like, you know what, I'm not going to let these people deter me from following people or whatever the case is. Like, don't let these people get in your head. They're a bunch of tired ass fans who ain't got nothing going for them. Don't let these people get up in your head and ruin your joy or ruin what you got going on. Those are the saboteurs. And we don't have our inner saboteur, but you got those other people that just be out here hating on anybody's success or other people's success. And don't let that, take you down. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think you may have a reason as to why he unfollowed and refollowed the cast? Do you even care? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah, I read that one already. Hold on. He said I knew him I remember that show. That show lasted one season. Wasn't it supposed to be like similar to like True Blood or whatever? First of all, the reason why that show didn't survive past the season because it was on NBC. You can't put no shows that kind of want to play in that whole True Blood wheelhouse on regular television. That's why streaming and cable is important. But streaming wasn't really what it is today. Chechnya, which is part of Russia, has an anti-LGBT purge in 2017 and is still going on as part of the community. Their story needs awareness. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be honest and tell you up front, I hope you don't mind that I'm watching. I knew you was. I actually remember this week, and I'm not reading a book instead. Well, look, we don't get into the drag race thing, but I'm already recording Drag Race. Like, I don't like watching it in real time with commercials. So once it's done, I will go and I'll watch it. Netflix order a gay show without the gay. What? What show was that? Oh, you talking about Boots? Or is this a new show? I can pitch you to other shows. Translation, I'm not good at my job. Absolutely. That's why I said, you can't pitch me. I'm like, then what the fuck did I hire you for? Your job as a manager is to pitch me, to make deals and negotiate. Like, I'm giving you a percentage of, because if I don't work, you don't get paid. So you can't pitch me? That sure is okay. Well, you go into the unemployment line or stick with the 3 other celebrities you got that you can't pitch shows to, or because you want an easy damn ride. Fuck out of here. I was like, if you ever gonna be my manager, don't ever say that shit to me because I will fire your ass in a New York minute. Not you laughing at outing as a heterosexual. It's not an outing. It's the first ever case of an inning. Okay? Innings and outies. We talking about navels. To my understanding, they're criticizing what they think is an age gap relationship. Oh yeah, because Connor's in his 20s and this other boy and François is at 40. But here's the thing. Why do y'all care? I know like Gen Z has got this hair up their ass about age gap relationships. Y'all even got a hair up your ass if somebody's got a 3 to 5 year gap. I'm like, really? Are y'all slow? And here's the thing. Quiet as I don't know why y'all here trying to talk out of both sides of your mouth because I be having boys in their 20s looking at me and wanting to spread their legs at the New York Minute. They be wanting and calling me daddy and all kinds of other stuff. So they want the older men. And quieter as it's kept, since I've been quieting as it's kept a lot. I remember I used to run behind and try to get with them older men because I felt like they were more experienced. They could teach me some things. So I see a lot of these young boys be going after and be wanting the older men to tear they guts up. I had this little black child who was on the train today staring at me in my face, had a mask on, everything. I was like, I ain't messing with you little closeted, because it reminds me of those videos that you be seeing on Twitter and in the OnlyFans where y'all want to be out here wearing a mask while you're getting y'all meats, slobbed on, among other things. But then there's this other guy that sat next to him on the train. He engaged in a conversation with everything. And I was looking at him and was like, okay, I see that child gay. And he was just not the one, well, the one with the mask. I was like, there might be some things, but he started talking to this other guy, and the way the guy was talking, I saw the man was like, I see what you about. But anyway, it's called Living Online Chronically. They hate the real. Exactly. That's why I said there's the Matrix and there's the real world. A lot of y'all like living in the Matrix. I wish nothing but the best for these actors. But if that François and Connor relationship is true, I'm gonna be looking at François the same way. Not DiCaprio. I don't know what it is about Connor. Look like he nasty in the bedroom. He definitely gives me that. Leo has a pattern though. I don't know if it's one or four. Oh yeah, because it's like, yeah, Leo definitely has a pattern. Because I don't understand that. You 50 years old and you deliberately seek out girls that are in their mid-20s or early 20s. Did you see that man looking broad that Sean Penn dating? His girlfriend looked like she looked like Ethel Kane. She looked a little trans. I was like, that's a tall girl. And Sean Penn looked like Miss Thing need a facial, not skeet skeet, but like she need that face because the skin is looking rough, and I think it's because all them damn cigarettes he be smoking. That man be so hard of a cigarette. He was smoking at the goddamn Golden Globes, and they told him to put that shit out, but he can't help it. I'm surprised his lungs are still intact. Them shits is probably blacker than my damn shirt. I can't say blacker than me because I'm light skinned. But anyway, how many more? Oh, we got 4 more topics left before the end of the show. I thought I was gonna be done before 2.5 hours, but I was like, with all the cackling and stuff we've been doing, um, that didn't happen. Not that I mind it, because I'm not complaining, because I do like the banter that we do on the show. But anyway, before we get to our final 4, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Now, without further ado, let's get into our final heated rivalry talk. And let's talk a bit about this heated rivalry, queer as folk comparison stuff that's been going on. So now y'all already know, because I've said it quite a few times when I be talking about heated rivalry. I truly believe, like, with all this mania surrounding heated rivalry, I already said, like, I feel this show will do for Gen Z and possibly some of Gen Alpha. And because I'm sure all the demographics is watching. But this is like in the Gen Z era. Because I feel like this show will do for elder Gen Zers, maybe some young, that queer as folk did for my generation, which would be like Gen X, millennials, that sort of thing, Xennials, whatever you want to call it. So I do feel like with everything about it, because of the unapologetic sex scenes, a lot of the controversial topics that they take on in both shows, that's where I see the comparisons. However, apparently the show just dropped in the UK. So they just now got it, because January 10th is when the show finally premiered in the UK. The show's done over here in Canada and the US, because I believe that US and Canada aired it around the same time, because HBO Max jumped on it at the last second. And so we've already seen it in real time with Canada. Now all the other places are starting to get it. We already told about Russia's watching it, secretly and willing to break laws in order to watch it. But the UK is finally getting their hands on it. And The Guardian wrote an article throwing shade at the show, which prompted Russell T Davies, who created Queer as Folk, the British version with Charlie Hunnam and them, to come out. And this is before Charlie Hunnam became Charlie Hunnam. He was on the show. He was like the Justin, I'm trying to remember his last name on the show, Taylor. Because I almost said Sylvester. That's the Black Queen that be over there doing them E-News channel shows or whatever. Well, he don't do it no more. They that show was canceled. But Justice Sylvester, the Black Queen that be over there on E. But anyway, so here's what they said. So shout out to the Advocate. While they said Russell T. Davies had shared a rave review about heated rivalry following a snooty review that compared tedious queer hockey series to Davies' masterwork, Queer as Folk, which came out in 1999. And for context, the hit Crave HBO Max series by showrunner Jacob Tierney, based on the original novels by Rachel Reed, only came out in the UK on Saturday, January 10th. That same day, a review from The Guardian called Heated Rivalry Tedious remarked on how much young men banter one could withstand and criticized the show for not delivering as much character development or emotional investment as needed. In the last paragraph, The Guardian compared the queer hockey TV show to Russell T Davies' masterwork, Queer as Folk, adding that both characters and viewers deserve more. Wait, did he say that about Queer as Folk back in the day? I'm like, wait a minute, we lived for Queer as Folk. I lived for the UK version, even though it was like a short mini series type season. Like they didn't go on for 5 seasons like the American version did. But I enjoyed the shows for what it was. Well, Davies couldn't disagree more. Said, love this, absolutely excellent, Davies wrote in an Instagram post shared 4 days earlier after the Guardian review. Hold on, let me actually pull up his his Instagram, so that way we could all see it as a class. So yeah, he said, love this, absolutely excellent. Yes, gay, okay, hooray. But never mind the sex. This is a love story, a great big classic love story, and it's a really classy production. Great acting, direction, lighting, music, design. The real scandal is the property porn. Oh, those apartments. Oh, yeah, because, and they had them big old windows. I was like, what if somebody see them up in there fornicating? Because y'all was doing it way out there where somebody could probably zoom in and see what y'all doing. But anyway, I digress. And they said, and so many gorgeous details. Too many pillows on the bed. Oh, yeah, I did notice. I was like, y'all got too many damn pillows on the bed. Throw them shits on the floor. Too many pillows on the bed. The cameras, gay gaze. That's so rarely done right. Men watching TV with their hands down their pants, which is exactly, we saw a scene of Ilya watching TV with his hand. I'm like, y'all put some real shit up in here. And the killer line being delivered in Russian by Svetlana about Jane. Wonderful. And it's such a bold story. It's such bold storytelling. The wild swing of episode 3, the rabble-rousing joy of episode 5, the sheer patience of episode 6. Sometimes there's a fabulous lack of drama. Traditional confrontations have all the steam taken out of them, replaced by proper adult conversation. A gorgeous show with in an age where GLAAD reports LGBTQ Libidiqua plus representation failing under a hostile regime. Canada surges ahead into a bold new world. Magnificent. And he went and tagged all the actors and even Jacob Tierney in the comments. And Jacob said, my king, thank you so much for this. François Arnaud put some heart emojis. Natalie Michelle Greene put Queer as Folk walk so Heated Rivalry could run, and did. Sky TV said, beautifully said, an absolute game changer of a series. And Sky TV is a UK channel. So, Guardian, take this article and you could shove it up your ass. Another person said, Paul Brand TV says, completely agreed. There was a snooty review in The Guardian yesterday that totally missed the point. Probably because you had you probably had no homosexuals that reviewed it. But then again, a lot of you, there'll be some of you posing, pompous homosexuals that want to come out and just be snooty for the sake of snooty's sake. Another person said, you blazed the trail for this, Russell, without a doubt. Loved it too. And then Evan Ross Katz put, the king has spoken. Another person said, I've lost count on how many times I've said stupid Canadian wolf bird. So y'all got the point. But to me, I just feel like, okay, calm down. And even Russell pointed out a lot of the key points where you sit up in there talking about that there was no cultural points. Well, it's just a bunch of babbling. Maybe you didn't care about the conversations that was being had, but there was a lot that was going on in the show. And they could only put so much in with 6 episodes. But now that the show is a huge hit, then I feel like we can get more than 6 episodes. We probably can go for 8 and maybe an even 10. Maybe they could push like what's that show with Noah Wiley with the medical show over on HBO that's getting rave reviews? Maybe they could push for 15. Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't mind 15 episodes of Heated Rivalry, but then there might be a little bit of overstated. Look, back in the day when we had Queer as Folk, the first couple of seasons, it was 22. They was running that show like it was a season of Law and Order SVU or Supernatural. We didn't think we was going to get that many. And then as the show progressed, they started to cut down the episodes to like 14 or whatever the case was. But for the most part, if you watch the first two, off the top of my head, I'm thinking first two seasons of Queer Folk was 20 to 22 episodes. So they stretched it out. So whatever happened to that? We need to bring that whole momentum back. So now they said sometimes there's a fabulous lack of. Oh wait, we already read all that, so we don't need to read that again. Now I do feel what needs to happen is this. I'm loving the wave that's being ridden regarding heated rivalry. I like all the success that this show is having. But I want to say this. What I'm hoping is going to happen with this show is that I hope this is not going to be just a litmus test of y'all only want to do a one and done, which is the only representation that we're going to get to represent an entire community will be heated rivalry. I hope what this does is open a Pandora's box for more shows, not carbon copies of heated rivalry, because we don't need, oh, well, now let's make a show about closeted boxers, or let's make a show about closeted baseball players, or let's make a show all black regarding closeted basketball players. Like we don't have to do every sports thing. I think maybe capture the main thing, which is people want to see authentic stories about queer people being told on television. I want to see shows representing the lesbian community. I want to see shows representing the trans community. It shouldn't have only started and stopped at Pose. We need more shows to represent all the communities. We need more queer people of color represented. I want to see queer Muslims script a show regarding them. I want to see queer Black people and trans people. I want to see Latinos being represented with their own show. I had a friend I told her that had a show that was on damn, I forgot the name of it. It's on YouTube. Naisha Lopez was in it and everything. Excuse me. I don't know if they'll get another season. It was about 4 queer friends in LA. But there's been some, like, we need more of that representation. Heated rivalry, yes, I'm loving all the attention they're getting. They're riding the wave. Hudson just did the D Squared at Paris Fashion Week runway show. He just did that. So a lot of them are getting opportunities. A lot of people jumping on the bandwagon, and it's cute. But I want overall representation. We need more queer-based shows on TV. While y'all busy out here chopping every damn show after one season, Netflix, we definitely want to see more queer-based shows. So I'm hoping that that's where we're leading, with this administration trying to crack down on anything diverse, that there will be some studios and some companies that are willing to fight the good fight and be like, no, we want to create quality programming and more shows and more opportunities for queer people to be represented. So I'm hoping that's what's going to be happening, that it will increase instead of decrease. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding what Russell T. Davies had to come to the defense of of heated rivalry because they were getting all these little shady queer folk comparisons. He thought he loved the show. There's no, yes, my show was groundbreaking and before its time. It was like 25 years ago. 26 years ago. And, representation is definitely important. I'm not going to sit up here and throw shade at another show. Any show that represents, queerness and stuff on TV is a win for all of us for now. And then, hopefully it expands beyond that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Did you talk about Dev and Christy? They said the new girl he was with was Clocky. Who's Dev and Christy? And you said, I ain't I love the term clocky. She clocky. He said, I ain't complaining. I thought I was gonna miss the live anyway. He said, I love that the queer genre is big enough to have different shows with different queer people. No need to tear down. Exactly. Now I just hope that we just get to see more representation, because I just hate when it comes down to anything that's from a marginalized community. They feel like that one show is supposed to be a representation of everything. This is the criticism that you get with Drag Race. Why a lot of people's like, well, we need to have this type of person represented and this type of person represented and blah blah blah. And it's like, why not just why can't we just hope for more shows to get that representation instead of putting it all off on this particular show, that because Drag Race is so popular that we need to check every box to get every representation in there, instead of just being like, we need more drag based competition shows on TV, and it shouldn't just be Drag Race. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with Devin Christie. I don't follow a lot of TikTokers. He said, I think they keep trying to incorporate different versions of Quest shows. They want the white numbers, but because it's a small numbers, meaning it's a black audience, so it's small. Well, look, they always assume that black audiences are small, but trust and believe, whenever those shows like Pose or whatever, my mother loved Pose. So it's not even just, she was like, oh no, she was like, and Blanca was my girl. So I don't think it's just that, well, it's only white, it's only black people are small. They always say that about shit. I mean, that's the same equivalent of them trying to say, well, black people can't sell movies overseas, like black people aren't in other countries outside the United States. So I just think if it's queer black based, first of all, queer people and black people are always the movers and shakers of pop culture. So the audience is there. If you put it out there, people will watch it. And trust and believe, whenever black people or queer black people are doing something, white people will be wanting to watch and see what we doing over there. So trust and believe, they were watching Pose too, and Noah's Ark. So can't. So they like to use the excuses. I do. I subscribe to Deku. I don't subscribe to Here TV, but I subscribe to Deku. And I know they got a go-go dancing show on Here TV, like a soap opera or something. I've been seeing the ads, and it's funny. I'm talking about it now. Watch that shit pop up on my in my ads when I go over to like Facebook or whatever. I'll be seeing them up in there. It's like these machines be listening, like I was like Alexa, but I got to say that, or Siri, but I got to say that low because then the bitch gonna turn on. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some drag race news. And let's talk about UK versus the world. So we already know the queens that's going to be appearing on the show. We did a whole segment on it a couple of episodes ago. And now we have some inside tea on the celebrity guest judges who will be appearing on the show. So the final selection of guest judges and guest stars to appear on the upcoming third season of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World has been announced, with the list including a surprising chart-topping pop star. Excuse me. Human and giant hitmaker Rag and Bone Man is set to stop by the workroom this season for a few words of encouragement for the competing queens during the girl group challenge. The British musician, who topped the album charts in 2017 and 2021 with his debut in sophomore records, Human in Life by Misadventure, isn't the typical pop girly or TV hun that Drag Race UK fans are used to. Considering previous guests have ranged from Sophie Ellis-Bextor to EastEnders star Natalie Cassidy. Yeah, because when you look at him, he definitely looks like Rag and Bone Man looked like Teddy Swims. So, like in that same vibe, white, big tattoos and all this stuff. So it's like you're not willing to go see somebody like that pop up on this show. Just like I think people will be surprised that Will Poulter, kind of hot over the years, by the way, would be a guest judge on the show. Now, that said, the musician, whose real name is Rory Charles Graham, said in a statement that he is excited to coach the season 10 competing queens, as the girl group challenge is his favorite. So he's a Drag Race fan. Now, plus, pop girly fans shouldn't be too disappointed, as the BBC will certainly be delivering on that front too. Newly announced guest judges and guest stars include Plastic Box singer and staunch Libidiqua Plus ally Jade, plus two-time bisexual Eurovision winner Loreen. Now, Jade will return to the UK panel for the third time, explaining in a statement that she adores the show for the community and love that comes from it. Swedish musician Loreen, who will be making her Drag Race return, having previously served as a guest judge on Drag Race, Sweden. Because I ain't even going to try to say that word, Spavrige. Season 1, because it only lasted one season. In 2023, said that taking part in the show again was a real joy and truly beautiful experience. Supermodel Kristen McMenemy, McMenemy. What kind of fucking name? Okay, whatever. I'll just say that. We'll also return to the Drag Race UK judging panel, with comedian Jade Adams also making an appearance. The 5 new guest judges and stars joining the already announced to feature on Drag Race UK versus the World Season 3, including Amanda Land actress Lucy Punch, On Swift Horses actor Will Poulter, Left Outside Alone singer Anastasia Beverly Hills, Anastasia, and Bananarama members Sarah Dalen and Karen Woodward. That's definitely going to be up RuPaul and Michelle's era. Now, we got 2 members of the Pussycat Dolls, and none of them is named Nicole Scherzinger. Ashley Roberts and Kimberly White will appear as coaches, as will Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies, who we just talked about. Now, RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World's Season 3 features the cast of 10 international divas, including 3 Drag Race UK titans, Kate Butch, Sminty Drop, and Zahira Zapanta. Mariah Paris Balenciaga from the OG Drag Race franchise, excuse me, and All Stars 5 will compete too, alongside Drag Race Germany's The Only Naomi, Drag Race Mexico Serena Morena, Drag Race Philippines, Minty Fresh, Drag Race Canada's Mylinda Verga, as I like to say, Drag Race Thailand's Godland, yes, Godland, we got to say it like that, and Drag Race Sweden star Fontana, who Loreen may be familiar with from her original guest judging duty. So the new season premieres on the 27th of January, and you can watch it on Wow Presents Plus, which is something we can't say about the regular season of Drag Race, which people out here are struggling to try to watch that damn show. Speaking of which, let's get into that story. So apparently, I had came across this story when it was about, when it comes to like the whole struggling of RuPaul's Drag Race, as I'm doing this, the 3rd episode is currently airing on MTV. However, or if you go down to a bar, your local gay bar, whatever the case is, they're showing it there. Shout out to the people out there, Roscoe's Tavern in Chicago, or many of the bars in New York that's showing it, in LA or wherever else that are showing it. But if you are not the type of person that wants to run down and watch Drag Race around a group of drunken people or people coming from work, whatever the case is, you want to watch it at home, many people are struggling to find where they can watch the show. And they say each season, it becomes more and more difficult for them to try to watch the show. I guess you probably got to do like the Russians are doing over there with Heated Rivalry. You got to do a VPN, you got to do the torrents, you got to do all the stuff. But a lot of people don't understand how to look for all of that and try to find a good torrent, be able to watch the show, whatever the case is. So what inspired me to do this story was the fact that I came across an article that the Hollywood Reporter did regarding this whole story, because this has been a crisis for the past couple of years. And I was always saying that, I was like, why isn't Paramount Plus showing RuPaul's Drag Race? You have a whole streaming service when you got all the current episodes, even up to 16, well, 17, because 18 is currently airing. So you got all the current seasons and All-Stars of Drag Race on Paramount Plus. Why aren't you doing like all the other streaming services where it's like, okay, Drag Race, if you got cable, whatever the case is, MTV, whatever, how you watch it, show it on Friday. Upload Drag Race season 3 or episode 3, season 18 on Saturday. Why not do it like that? They do it like they do it Peacock, they do it all the other streaming services, Hulu, they do it all the streaming services. Paramount Plus, dinosaur-ridden asses, because you got the Ellises over there, but it's not necessarily, I'm not going to blame them particularly, because they just acquired Paramount Plus a couple of months ago. But they so caught up in trying to, steal Warner Brothers Discovery that they're not paying attention to the IPs they have over there at Paramount Plus. So I'm sitting there like, why haven't y'all figured out to get Drag Race to come over there, so that way it makes it easier for fans to go and watch the show? And also, you would think if you put RuPaul's Drag Race on Paramount Plus, particularly a lot of young people watch this show, and if you want to evolve the show for the next generation, if you keep it over on MTV, which most people don't watch. Most people, including me, we watch streaming services. We don't have cable. We don't watch cable. Cable's too much. I mean, quiet as it's kept, these streaming services is about to get up there in the prices like cable. But nevertheless, why haven't you put it on the streaming service? Because if you don't, then this show's going to die off. And if it's a greed thing with y'all over there, especially you, RuPaul, you like money. You've been showing time and time again, your ass is a capitalist. So you don't like money? Y'all trying to lose money over there? Because quiet as it's kept. I saw them rating numbers. Them numbers, the ratings are slipping, even though they did hype it up and we did a story on it. But it's about, oh, this is the biggest numbers or whatever. But then as I was reading the article, it was like, it was hard to determine like what were the actual numbers. Like I was confused. But they thought just throw a bunch of jargon around and we'll just believe it. So let's get into the article. So they said a brand new season of Drag Race is currently airing, but cord cutters are running into some problems when trying to tune into the show. The Emmy Award-winning drag competition series has kicked off its 18th installment, platforming just over a dozen new artists as they compete for the title of America's Next Drag Superstar. New episodes roll out weekly on Fridays, airing on MTV, but without access to cable, there's no clear-cut official streaming option backed by its network to stream new episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18. With MTV as its home network, which is owned by Paramount, that would lead viewers to assume it would be available to watch on Paramount Plus during the new season. But that's not the case. In a Reddit thread titled How to Watch Season 18, a moderator wrote, quote, "We're getting lots of posts today asking the same questions about where to watch the episode, noting that they created said thread to provide a clearer roundup of how to tune in, adding that due to the amount of posts asking about streaming options, any new posts asking where to watch, including Season 18, will be removed so the sub doesn't get overwhelmed." One Reddit user shared their annoyance, writing, "Every season I get so frustrated because it's always a different streaming service, a different channel, and I never know where I can find it. It's ridiculous that I do not understand why it's like this because the show is popular and generates a lot of money. It's already bad enough they took away the MTV app. I'm ready to say forget it, and I'm a diehard fan." And that was the thing. See, I remember back in the day when Drag Race was on, and I told her when I was in college, because that's when RuPaul Drag Race actually premiered on Logo and stuff. I was in film school. And what I used to do was, because we didn't have Logo at the time, it was hard to find a channel that had Logo on it. So they had the Logo, dogotv.com. I used to go on there and I'm supposed to be doing schoolwork. I'm sitting there watching Drag Race with my classmate Tiffany. We were sitting there. Yeah, I'm airing the tea out. So me and this girl Tiffany, we would sit there and watch Drag Race. I have my headphones on. I'll be watching it, and I'll be having to make sure, like the teacher, so that way when the teacher would come by, I would have to click it off real quick and make it look like I was doing my work. But I'm sitting there watching the old episodes of Drag Race, and that was the way you was able to watch it. Same thing with MTV, but I think after the past maybe 3 seasons, recent seasons, they stopped with the app or the website, so you can't watch it. And they lead you to like, oh yeah, if you have like this type of cable provider that allows you to watch the show, but still with that, you have to have some type of cable provider. And a lot of people don't have Verizon Fios or whatever the case is, or Comcast or whatever the case, to try to be able to use that to watch it. So it makes it harder. And my friend David watches, like, I think he watches torrent versions or whatever, where it's like uncensored and you hear the cursing and everything. Because I remember when we did Safira Cristal's thing and I was in Philly with him, as soon as we was done with working that event and everything and doing the live watch with Safira and a bunch of other drag queens, when we got back to our Airbnb, we actually watched the episode again, but it was the uncensored version. So um one thing, unless you know people who can actually send you that, then you'll be able to watch it. But for the most part, I just don't understand Paramount. Y'all really are dropping the ball with this. Like, quiet as it's kept, out of all the things on MTV, RuPaul's Drag Race is like the biggest thing y'all got going over there. And y'all not even taking advantage of I mean, y'all do like taking advantage of y'all fans with the amount of money y'all be asking of them at DragCon and all this other stuff, which y'all start doing those. I don't even know when y'all gonna get back to doing a US version of DragCon. Y'all didn't do one in LA last year. So I don't know. It's just Y'all don't have no problem trying to take money from all these queens and the fans and all stuff and the cons and things. But when it comes down to actually doing what y'all need to be doing with the show, and child, let me tell you, the low budgetness was definitely felt when I went to the season 18 premiere. No shade, I'm just saying. So, um, yeah, it's hard to be able to watch the show. But now for me, I'll say this, because I had no way of wanting to watch it, and what I was not doing was waiting months after the show aired for y'all to upload the new season of Drag Race to Paramount Plus. Because what they do is maybe like a week or two before they're about to drop the new season of All Stars, they'll put season 18 up there. And then you watch it that way. Because y'all been doing that for the past couple of years, which I don't like. Because I was like, it would be smart if y'all actually put up that in the challenge. I don't understand why you don't put those shows on Paramount Plus. That's stupid. Y'all wait months to put it up there. And by the time the show's already done, because y'all still cuck to this idea that people have cable and they don't. So MTV, please get it together. Now, another user questioned why, despite the show never streaming next day on Paramount Plus, saying RuPaul's Drag Race hasn't adapted this format over time, saying, I really don't get why it's not on Paramount Plus the day after, like, say, Survivor. One user replied to the post, writing, probably to drive eyeballs / add revenue to MTV during Friday nights. If it was posted on P Plus the next day, a lot of people would stop tuning in live. Well, why does most people don't watch live shit? Well, are y'all slow? Who watches live TV? I mean, maybe a couple of y'all do. I don't. I don't like commercials, but I understand y'all like ads. I got bills to pay, whatever the case is. But Paramount Plus is prescription based or subscription based. So y'all already getting money from that, but y'all greedy, but y'all got ad revenues and stuff y'all want to pay for. And it's like, I don't like ads. I don't like commercials. You're already driving me to drink with the ones on YouTube every 5 minutes. But if I subscribe to YouTube stuff, then I won't be able to see, as a content creator, all the the algorithm, all the other stuff that I need to see in regards to like numbers and all this stuff. So I have to keep it with the ads in it, so that way I can still do what I got to do on there. So then they said the show's full catalog, as y'all know, like I said, is on Paramount Plus, but the new season is not. So I do think they need to change that. Now they said instead new seasons are loaded to the streamer months after the series wraps. A source confirmed with the Hollywood Reporter season 18 will follow the same format, debuting on Paramount Plus at a later date following its linear run on MTV. Season 17 wrapped in mid-April 2025 and hit Paramount Plus in late July, 3 months later. Yeah, so that's why I said around the time of All Stars 10. That's what they did, which was stupid because it's like, by that time, we already know who the winner is. So why we got to wait until 3 months later? That's just dumb. Now, the source additionally noted that MTV serves as a linear home to RuPaul's Drag Race, with new episodes available on demand through participating TV providers while the season is airing. Sorry. They too cited that Paramount Plus is the year-round U.S. streaming destination for the franchise. The source did not indicate RuPaul's Drag Race live streaming destination. I just feel like with people cord cutting, people are not streaming. I mean, people are not watching cable. This is just dumb on their part. And I just feel like y'all really need to get with the program. But I did see this video over on TikTok. So we could just hurry and wrap this up. I'm gonna play all this clip and then we are going to come back and talk. Please hold.
Watch what's happening to Drag Race, and that it's really hard to find a way to watch it, even though what's happening to it is that it's better than it's been for a while. You see, allegedly, according to MTV's website, you can watch this on Paramount Plus, and what they mean by that is after season 18 is done airing, you can watch it there. I know. And also, MTV used to have a streaming service available until 2024 where you could watch TV air live with ads. Now you need to subscribe to Philo or Fubu or Boop.Squelch. These can cost like $35, $45, $50. I think there's a deal on Philo where you can do it for $25 the first month. The thing is, like, Obviously, I'm inclined to be paranoid about this regarding the ownership of Paramount and what kind of content they want to, face outwards. But the thing is, capitalism is stronger than bigotry, and this is a show that is making money. It's just that they are really trying to get people to buy cable, I guess, or MTV in that way. Obviously, this is archaic and fool-headed. It's very frustrating. I'm not entirely sure what we can do. You can buy it on Amazon and watch it like 2 days later. But let's say you're a very driven person. I would never suggest that you do something against the terms of service of a streaming platform, like, say, get some sort of program that makes it so your phone thinks it's somewhere else where you have access to the show on a different streaming platform. I would never say that. But say your phone was having like a very personal neurosis where they thought they were British. The phone might be deluded into thinking it's watching season 18 on Wow Presents Plus, where it does air for people living in the UK. You see, the American market for advertising is just too valuable to let us get it the way people elsewhere get it. It's not just that we have more spending power, it's that the American market is huge, it's diverse, it does have a lot of spending power. And also, we are a very consumer-driven culture that is very used to being advertised to and is very used to dealing with ads. Why sell the Highland cow when you could charge Americans for a whole bunch of money per bottle? I don't think that works. But yeah, it's frustrating because honestly, the show's so popular, Reddits are putting moratoriums on asking where it can be watched because it's just getting flooded with that question. But yeah, I'm a little worried that RuPaul's Drag Race flagship is turning into Earth and some sort of dystopian sci-fi where everyone needs to start colonizing elsewhere. I agree with Big Dipper in that if flagship goes down, Canada will be what's left. I wish there was a call to action here as far as supporting the show, because the only way to truly do that in its current form is to buy into this ridiculous model. This is frustrating. It's really hard to watch what's happening to Drag Race, and that is
I hate when it doesn't shut up. So annoying. Anyway, so all of what he said, running through my head. Shout out to Tattoo. But I was everything he said, shout out to Phillips. Well, he calls himself Philip Seymour Hoffwoman, and also goes by All I Do Is Dry Heave. So yeah, shout out to him for that TikTok video. I want to always shout out my sources, whatever. But yeah, he's absolutely right. It's I feel like at the end of the day, if it all goes to shit, what we'll have left is Canada. And Canada Drag Race definitely been stepping their pussy up in regards of the content, the drama, all that other stuff. Although, like I said, I still am a little tight over who y'all pick, because I don't want to spoil it in case y'all didn't see it, who y'all picked to win the show. Justice for Ebony LaBelle is all I'll say. That other person, it was like, girl, please. The way she was acting on the show and y'all let her win, and y'all picked us the winner, whatever. But nevertheless, I just think it's unfortunate that y'all just out here y'all so caught up in being capitalist and taking advantage of of the fandom and the audience that this is all y'all care about. Y'all care about money more than the art of drag, which I guess has always been the overall complaint about how drag race has become way too mainstream and has diluted the true art of drag, which always happens whenever something goes into the mainstream. But I guess people gonna have to find other ways to go about it. But it's just I kind of wish I would have just had it on Wow Presents Plus if you weren't gonna do it on Paramount Plus. Because it's just dumb that y'all don't have it on the next day on Paramount Plus. But there's a lot of shows that I've been saying that, not only just Drag Race, but The Challenge. It don't make no sense why you gotta wait months for a full season of The Challenge or Drag Race to appear on a streaming service that literally is home to so many IPs. But I digress. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Because like I said, with me, I use Philo. I pay for $25 a month, but it's not Philo's not. That's not the only thing I watch on Philo. I watch a couple other shows. I watch The Challenge. I watch The Braxtons. I watch a bunch of other things. I watch. I don't have. Oh my God, what's it? AMC. So I watch all the Walking Dead spinoffs and the new season that's supposed to be coming up soon of Interview with a Vampire. They're supposed to be doing the one with where the Lestat goes and becomes a rock star. I'm looking forward to that season. So there's a couple of shows on there that I watch, and again, $25 a month is a lot. Some are paying 32, but I'm paying 25 because I've been with Follow for a minute. But some people are paying it's a lot for people, but it's just like it's a lot to ask for when you got so many streaming services and it's just too much. So I hope they figure it out and work it out because this is just ridiculous the way y'all taking advantage of the people when you should be considerate of people's wallets. But someone said they watch it on Apple TV, but they buy all the episodes. But aren't the episodes like $2 or $3 a pop? Like who's gonna be paying all of that? That's a lot. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Yeah, we got a lot of comments. Hold on. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I said, Siri, don't pay me no mind. I gotta yell to get her attention. So I remember they had the guy from Incubus on one season. Oh, the lead singer? Just a heads up, RuPaul's Drag Race Live is so great. Oh, please. I've always said that I hate when they do the SNL version of Drag Race. I'm like, it's not funny. Um, a lot of the girls this season are kind of like, I mean, y'all were kind of giving me, like I said, even like with last week's episode, started out strong. Then when we got to the performance aspect, I was like, I started falling asleep. I got bored. So I don't like the RuPaul's Drag Race Live thing. I'll probably watch it later on, but yeah. So it's a I don't either. Could be a double elimination. Here's hoping. They should add it to Paramount Plus. Will be easier to keep up with it. Even Big Brother, they add absolutely Big Brother. They have no problem adding that up on there. So I was in that y'all could add all the CBS stuff, and y'all be going hard trying to promote CBS. I mean Peacock on CBS because you see it next day on Peacock. Like you see it whenever you watch any of the CBS stuff, but you won't promote any of the MTV stuff on there. Viacom is all of that is a part of the thing. Doesn't make sense. Y'all got South Park up on there too. This is why I advocate DVDs because these streaming platforms are too fickle and they don't offer as many great features as DVDs, and you don't have to worry about. Yeah, yeah, that is true. Physical. I do love physical media, but a lot of people aren't able to keep up with it anymore. Maybe RuPaul did a contract that it's only on MTV unless streaming guarantees RuPaul makes 400, not 400 million per episode. I remember they used to release the seasons on DVD back in the day. Oh yeah, well they ain't doing that no more. What? Who's the H Moan being homophobic? Well, we're about to get into that story if that's what you're talking about from the headline. One of the queens on RuPaul Drag Race Live sketch was dressed as Michelle cosplaying as Madonna. It will make sense when you watch the episode. If you have Prime, you can buy each episode for $2. It's available to buy at midnight after the release. Like, is it worth wanting to buy these shows? Well, I guess if you want to see it, just go in there and buy it. I am currently watching this episode, which is why I have to watch it live instead of recording it. I would like to see RuPaul's Drag Race air on CBS, but that possibility was thrown out, especially with the people running it. Yeah, I don't like commercials. It's not 2 days later. It's that very well, I guess maybe for them it was 2 days later, but I'm like, 2 days later? Why then? Most people just do it like as soon as the show is over. Yeah, that's what I said. Do a VPN. People look, y'all gotta get hip to what's going on with the technology. It's on Wow Presents Plus via a VPN, but now that he's blasting it to the world. Well, I don't think they will. No, I don't think they'll do that because one of the things it's kind of like what we have here. Like Canada's Drag Race, they have to watch it on their cable provider. They can't see Canada's Drag Race on Wow Presents Plus like we can. Like, and the same thing with the UK. UK versus the world, they'll see it on their provider, but everywhere else, we get to see it on the Wow Presents Plus. It was like, yeah, let's do that. So do it on a VPN via the Wow Presents Plus in another country and watch it that way. You said I miss Van Tattoo. Child, look at you spilling who won. I was trying not to say it. We see you, Miss Tattoo. Maybe she wants people to get cable TV saying streaming isn't the future. Well, I don't know who told them that because streaming is the future. So if y'all out here acting like a bunch of goddamn dinosaurs, I mean, quiet as it's kept. RuPaul is in his mid-60s. Fenton, Bailey, and Randy Barbato are old. So if y'all out here really and these people that work in these companies are probably old in the mind. So if y'all not able to catch up with the fact that, yeah, more people are watching streaming services than cable, and y'all still think that cable is the way, then y'all just going to be out here looking a fool. The internet isn't forever might be her mindset. She been showing her age in a lot of situations. At least Ebony can come back for another. Yeah, Ebony LaBelle was eating those girls up on that show, and I'm sitting there like, really, Van Gogh, the winner, after the way she was acting on the show, we're rewarding big, queens having temper tantrums because they ain't get enough attention because they not being seen as competition. The fandom for Heated Rivalry is just as bad as the Drag Race fandom threatening queens they don't like. Okay. And also, when people watch the show, you have to realize it also helps the girls and their Instagram followers go up. It's even hard to pirate the challenge. Well, that's why I said I got Philo. It's because I watch all of that there. No, like capitalism and greed is a curse to planet Earth and all the creatures on it. I swear, it's literally the one that. Okay, exactly. It's ruining everything. Ain't half a tattoo a grifter. Isn't she homophobic or something or another? Look, the only reason why all the things she said song came out because they used it in the episode of Heated Rivalry, and I actually like the remix they did of that song too. Yeah, I found one of the girls from Tattoo is a heterosexual. Well, first of all, they were like Milli Vanilli, not in the sense of like they wasn't singing because they were. It was a gimmick with them pandering and making them like they were lesbian lovers or something. We gotta accept the fact RuPaul is the capital. Who said we didn't? We knew that from the fracking. And her streaming is free. You pay $15 to Paramount Plus. Oh yeah, because that shit I just got an announcement is going up. $15, and RuPaul don't get a coin. That's nice. She get a coin from the damn show and all the 8 million spinoffs. That ain't enough money for you. Just keep it on one platform at one price and include all the seasons. They just hate simplicity. Yeah, because funny enough, if you have Philo, they have all the seasons up there. All the seasons of Drag Races on Philo. Because I looked and I saw it was there. I was like, oh, y'all got all the seasons. I kind of wish they would have Untucked because I be wanting to watch Untucked, and I noticed like all the seasons of Untucked is not available on the streaming service. I think Hulu might have it. And I'm like, why don't y'all have it on Paramount Plus? Because there's one, I forget which streaming service. It starts at season 9 Untucked on to the current one. I think that might be Paramount Plus. And all the other previous Untucked is on Hulu. I don't want to sit and watch old episodes of Drag Race and then go watch Untucked on another streaming. Like, that's annoying. Y'all can't have everything everywhere all at once. I did see that movie. I completely forgot about the last 2 episodes of South Park last month and never got around to watching it. Did anyone like this season? Did anyone like South Park? Because it seemed like a lot of people liked a lot of the jokes from South Park making fun of Trump and this current administration. All right, y'all. So now let's get into our final topic, which is getting into even more controversy. And let's talk about the traitors because apparently Michael Rapaport has been a damn nuisance on the show. And here's the thing. Did the show just start airing last week? Like, yeah, last week was the premiere, right? Am I bugging? Because when I looked on Peacock, it said 5 episodes is up. But there's a reason why they said that they dropped a bunch of episodes. Because I'm like, wait a minute, there's no way with it only being 5. Well, first of all, if the show was supposed to start around the same time as Drag Race, or maybe a week later, right? There's no way you can get 5 episodes up, and we only about what's today's date? 15? 3 weeks in. 2.5 weeks, I'll say, because New Year's was January 1st, or January 1st being a Thursday. So they said there's a reason why there's 5 episodes already available to watch of the Traitors on on Peacock, and we'll get into that in a second. But apparently, Michael Rapaport got his ass handed to him last night on the episode of The Traitors because apparently he had said something where he was trying to go in and let have on Colton Underwood, and people determined or felt that what he had said towards Colton was homophobic. So they had an extremely tense round table where they said the episode was titled "If You're Gonna Come For Me, I'll Finish You." Not y'all trying to do it off of a Kenya Moore writ. Don't come for me unless I send for you, which premiered on yesterday on the 15th of January. Now everything kicked off when Colton Underwood, a 33-year-old TV personality and former professional football player, called out Rapaport, a 55-year-old comedian and actor, for rallying against him during the day. Then Rapaport's aggressive gameplay amped up as he took a swing at Underwood's personal life, sparking some of the people to accuse him of being homophobic. Now, we do have that clip. NBC, please don't come for me because I got this off Instagram. But if it turns out we may have to edit it out, so be it. But I want to play y'all this clip because it was juicy. But hold on. We're going to play it and we're going to come back and talk. Please hold.
I'm pissed off and I am isolated because of him. Him. And nobody in this room would be better at holding a secret than you.
And ooh,
There it is.
There it is. You're a traitor.
You think it was fun for 29 years of my life?
Oh, no. It has nothing to do with it. I think you came into this game loving the idea of being a traitor.
You said because I held a secret for 29 years,
I didn't say you held a secret for 29 years.
You insinuated it.
You're a traitor.
You can't blame somebody being forced into a closet for the majority of their life.
I'm not talking about closets.
That's what we took it as, or I took it as anyway.
What did you mean by that? You should clarify.
His behavior is of a traitor. His behavior is secretive, it's conniving, it's chirping, it's commiserating, it's cowardly.
Very low blow.
I don't think it was.
It was.
Well, you're wrong.
It wasn't intended to be.
Well, it was. Michael, he took it that way.
I apologize if he took it that way.
No, we get to take it how.
Take it however you want. This is a traitor. You're a traitor, a commiserating, colluding traitor. Commiserating. Colton.
Commiseration means to feel sorry for someone.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I'm sorry, that's driving me nuts.
I'm angry, I'm pissed off, and I am isolated because of him.
So y'all pretty much got to say, hold on, let me Google. What does commiserating mean? It says to express or feel sympathy or pity. So basically it was saying that y'all was feeling sorry for him. So that's basically why y'all was all rallying behind him. Now here's the thing. I will say this. As polarizing as Michael is, I really do not think that he meant it in a homophobic way. The fact of the matter, maybe I think his wording was a little out of whack. And because he's so damn annoying and he got up on a lot of people's skin, they wanted him out of that damn house, which, spoiler alert, they kicked his ass off the show last night. Hence why you got all 5 episodes, because they were like, y'all were hating Michael Rapaport so much on this show, they had to get all them episodes out at once so y'all could just get him off the show, and now we could proceed with the weekly episodes. So that's why, if y'all wondering how all of a sudden they jumped to Michael Rapaport being on, being gone, is because y'all hated him so much. They were like, okay, we got to rush these episodes. We'll get into the TMZ report in a second. But him going to be like, nobody's better at holding a secret. It's like, yeah, we all know that if you watch The Traitors, it's all about being treacherous. It's all about holding secrets. It's about doing other things. However, him being someone who went on a show like The Bachelor, where he pretended he liked vagina, and then years later, with all the problematic things, we're going to put all that aside. We're talking about the gay stuff. Because remember, there was like things of him stalking the girl or whatever the case was, all that notwithstanding. Him coming and being like the guy who was in the closet for a long time and finally came to terms with himself, it's like, oh, I can milk this. Because he didn't say all the years that you were holding the secret. But the way that you went about it is kind of like, oh, you could play into that, and why you could see why he took it the way he took it. So while I don't think that's what you meant, it didn't help matters. And with you also being annoying, I can totally see why they all wanted your ass off the show. So they finally got their wish. But You know, a lot of people think like all this being messy and all this other stuff is good TV. Sidebar, y'all know Taylor Swift future mother-in-law is on the show too? Yeah, Travis Kelce mother. I don't know what her celebrity status is. She's on the show too. Donna Kelce. So so yeah, when you going over and saying nobody would be better at holding a secret than you, why you think the people wouldn't take it the way that they took it? So yeah, so then of course people had to jump online and give their comments. One person said Michael Rapaport wanted to use Colton Underwood's being in the closet as ammunition to banish him. This is what one person posted online. They also concluded this dude has no morals. Another shared Michael saying Colton will be a good traitor because he's good at keeping secrets. The post was accompanied by a gif of heated rivalries Hudson Williams looking deeply confused. And so yeah, but then he also said that, okay, so now the TMZ report basically went on to say Traitors cast, they couldn't wait to get him out of the house. So they said Michael Rapaport's explosive comments before his banishment pissed off Traitors cast members, which was par for the course while shooting, because they learned they couldn't stand his ass the entire time. Well, they said the guy, but I said his ass. Now, the source close to production of season 4 tells TMZ the cast thought Michael was toxic on set, and they were all very happy when his time on the show came to an end this week on the 5th episode. They were also told the rumor circulated on set that the network thought viewers would be so put off by his behavior, Peacock pushed out his final episode early to get him off fans' TVs. However, a network source denies the rumor, telling us the rollout and his banishment are a total coincidence. The show didn't betray him. Oh, please. And it said, they voted, to banish him for the show, which was spurred by an explosive roundtable discussion where they seemed to imply Colton, who was a homosexual man who was closeted for years, was better off holding a secret than anyone else in the room. Rapaport apologized. And, when it comes to, just like I said, when it comes to white people and it comes to racism, I think y'all be having blind spots when it comes to gay stuff, too. And it's like, y'all gotta be very conscious of some of the words that y'all use when you dealing with people who are marginalized. Yes, at the end of the day, Colton is a white male, like Michael Rapaport is. The difference is Michael Rapaport is a heterosexual white male, and Colton is not. So every now and again, I know a lot of y'all like to just cut to your whiteness, but y'all will get reminded of other things when it comes down to that you're a minority in certain situations, and that be your gayness. So I just feel like, yeah, you got reminded of some stuff, and now it is what it is, and Michael's off the show, but he went up saying this. He said, I played a hard game, I played a real game, and I had a fun time. And one had a fun time. And he said, never wanted to offend anyone watching or the cast. Sincerely, the dopest, smartest, realest, best look. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. And best looking to ever walk in that castle. It sucks, but I fell back into a corner and I tried to fight my way out of it. Maybe I fought too hard. I meant what I meant within the context of the game. And we've seen people on the show where they've said some crazy stuff and they back themselves into a corner and they try to fight their way. They did that last season. We saw that with certain people and ended up getting the chop. We saw that with Bob the drag queen when she was doing it. She was getting everybody going for the lawn. All of a sudden, everybody just did this harsh turn on her. Then turned to find out she was a traitor. But and then he also went to say it had nothing to do with his sexuality. I really sincerely apologize if I offended Colton or anybody in the house. That absolutely was not my intention. I'm a fan of the game. I played hard and I played a good game, except for when I went a little too far, which sucks. Well, it seemed like you just be doing too much and people just don't. And you have to realize when y'all be going too hard and y'all be like, oh yeah, I'm a hardcore fan of the show. That's when people turn on you. Because remember, Todrick had to deal with that too when he was on Big Brother. Oh, I'm a huge fan of the show. And then when you are a huge fan of the show and then y'all get too caught up in it, then you start to turn people off. So it's like you got to know how to you could be a fan of the show, but you also got to realize that you're on a TV show. So you got to find that balance of, oh, I'm going to play the game, but also you got to try to win over the audience too. It's like chicken. But Michael, you've always been a polarizing figure, and that's why I said if you really think if you couldn't win over America with you being on the Traitors, makes you think you're gonna be able to beat Zoran Mamdani 4 years from now trying to be the mayor of New York. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard, but we did a story about it a couple of weeks ago. Michael Rapaport was talking about that he wants to be the mayor of New York because he don't like Zoran, the moron. That's what he calls him because he's so clever. So if you can't even win over America on a TV show, you ain't winning over New Yorkers. So don't waste your breath or your time or your money. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this episode? Have you seen the latest or the story? Have you seen the latest episode of The Traitors? What do you think of Michael Rapaport's very brief 5-episode stint on the show? Did you like him? Did you think he played a great game? Do you think what he said towards Colton was homophobic? Or do you think that Colton saw an opportunity and he was able to work it in a way where he looked like the victim? And because they didn't like Michael on the show because of how he was behaving, this was their great ammunition to get against him and find a way to get him out of the house. So he pretty much was the doing of his own demise. So I say all this to say, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Physical media is now for the elite. Many people don't want the posters, booklets, and extra stuff. They just want the movie. Yeah, a lot of stuff is expensive. And plus with me moving around a lot and living the life of a gypsy, like I told you, I don't have the time to be running around trying to keep track of um, you know, physical media. So I just don't really be buying. I just buy it off. I just buy the digital version. So I'm probably yeah. Again, like Joy asked, MAGA won both houses, the president and the court. Yeah, that's what I said. They're always miserable. They'll never, that hole in their souls will never be fulfilled, regardless. They want us because, and I think what it is that they want us to just continuously thank them for what the world is. So you don't want us to thank you for being chaos demons, for making people's life a living hell because your life is a living hell, and y'all still not happy within yourselves? Oh, sidebar, I forgot to tell y'all, I went to go see the Bone Temple. On all I'll say about it, well, I'm still thinking about it, so I may give y'all a full review on Monday. I liked it. I need part 3. Because the way that movie ended, I was like, oh no, I need a part 3. And I like some of the ideas that they were throwing in that movie. Regarding the infected and Ray Fiennes' character and the kid that played Spike and oh my god, I forgot the Jack O'Connell who played Jimmy, and getting to see more of like what he brought to the character and that cult and Nia DaCosta's direction. I'll get more into it on Monday when we get into the numbers. I'll give my overall review, but I liked it. I liked it more than I liked the first one. When I said political and current, I meant the entire season of the show is revolving around what is the current administration is doing. They would scrap scripts to be more current. Yeah, it was like they would just go and, he said, that's not to commiserate. He was like, child, you said to embarrass yourself. I had to look it up. I was like, I don't think that's what that means. Like, I'm not sure why he was using that word, but okay. I didn't think homophobic because, oh, you're saying I didn't think homophobic either? But drag him anyway. Oh, I did, I was. Because I don't like Michael Rapaport, but I don't think he meant it in a homophobic. I listened to what was said, and how you took it to another thing because it's like, oh, you think secrets and what only gays keep secrets? I mean, the whole idea of being on the traitor is you're not supposed to let nobody know your ass is a traitor. But he was good at flipping it and reversing it and making himself look like the victim. Michael was the worst, but Colton going on a straight dating show knowing he may be gay is some snake in the grass type ish. Ooh. Okay. I mean, I do kind of like the point though. He was saying he lied to his own people for all them. I mean, those shows are fake with a ridiculous premise. He wasn't hurting them ladies. Well, yeah, quiet as it's kept. Them damn the Bachelor as a whole is. I still don't understand how y'all be watching that. I don't get the appeal of the Bachelor. I don't get people that still watch that show. It's so stupid, and nobody's really going on that show for no love. I feel like the only couple that's still together isn't it Trista and Ryan? Aren't they still married? Everybody else, them relationships don't last, but I love the support they have for her. I'm here for the room full of out, not you using the female pronouns said they have for her. Come on, Miss Colton. He's annoying, but it was not homophobic. He called him a traitor because Colton lied to an audience when he went on The Bachelor and got a restraining order when he stalked his girlfriend. Where's the lie? Absolutely. And Michael is definitely into the whole pop culture because whenever he goes on annoying ass Watch What Happens Live, he be up on the pop culture stuff. You saw that story I shared last night about Farrah. So that dumbness. I'm like, I don't care about that dumbass bitch. First of all that damn saline she injected in them lips, her head, face, tips, and body. She got all that saline and fixer flat up in her body. It probably rotted her damn brain. Of course, she's gonna be like, I'm running for mayor. But can't nobody gonna vote for you? Stuck to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, spreading your legs for $1. You sort of he's annoying, but it was not homophobic. He called oh yeah, I read that. But I think you posted it twice. I didn't find it homophobic. He was making a different point, and it was kind of true. But like that older chick said, it was a low blow. To low blow. Probably she's from one of those dating shows. Queer as Folk was mentioned on the channel. Well, look, the show's about to end in 5 minutes. Well, Drag Race about to end in 5 minutes. Because it's 9:24 over here on the East Coast. But look, this show, Chris Avalon and Phil, is about to end as we speak. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you have not already, please hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Have a great weekend. I'll probably be back. Maybe I'll do a Sunday show, or maybe Monday definitely I'll be back on with a brand new episode. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Have a great weekend. It's about Trisha Paytas. Ew. Why? You know what it looks like? Did y'all see, speaking of Trisha Paytas, did y'all see that picture floating around of Candy Spelling using a filter on that magazine cover? I was like, why? I thought that was Trisha Paytas. I was like, ma'am, you 80 years old using a probably the same. I was about to throw shade at Madonna. I was like, probably using the same filter Hunter uses. Please, Madonna look good with her filter. I was like, girl, you know you don't look like that. First of all them spellings in the look. Okay, let me leave it alone. It said Trisha Paytas running for governor, and Ethan Klein is saying if she wins, we're leaving California because she married. Ain't nobody picking her to be the mayor of anything, let alone her own house. Thanks, Chris. Great show tonight. Thank you. My thoughts exactly ill. Oh, you talking about you saw the Candy Spelling magazine cover too? With that horrible filter she has on her face. But anyway, so I was like, man, we know you do not look like that. Why y'all be out here playing thinking that we are just dumb? Anyway, love you all for watching. Thank you all for your continued support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.